Championship. So we know that we've got that match tonight. We've also got Karrion Kross taking on Carl Anderson. So we've got that match tonight as well. Obviously, that's been a little feud that's been building over the past few weeks. So we've got that match. And then also we have got, there was one more thing. It was, I think it was to do with Jay and Roman, to be honest. Just because I watched the official preview from WWE, and there was 3 things that they mentioned. Those 2 matches, and then I think it was just, what next for the tribal combat stuff. So, yeah, I think it was just that. So, not much in the way of a preview tonight, unfortunately. Not loads for us to get our teeth into. But even so, we're on that road to SummerSlam. It is not far away. I think SummerSlam is like next weekend. So it's really it's one of those where you'll turn around and SummerSlam will be upon us. And I can't wait for it. I think the card looks great. Genuinely looking forward to that show. Obviously, we'll be doing the watch along for it. And the other thing to just mention before we get started is obviously a bit of an apology, because there is a big problem where I am at the moment, and that is that half of the house does not have electricity, and it just so happens to be the half where I stream. So the only reason why we can do this stream is by a series of extension leads and lots of workarounds. So I don't know. But there is a chance that everything could just crash and go down at some point. Hopefully not. Obviously, we weren't able to do the stream on Wednesday, and it's still not fixed. We've actually got electricians coming tomorrow, so bear with me. We're going to do what we can. We are running. I've got an extension lead plugged into an extension lead plugged into an extension lead to try and get this to work. So it's wobbly at best. So we do like our technical problems, and this is a brand new one. The fact that half the house doesn't have electricity, but we'll find a way through. So yeah, that was the situation on Wednesday. That went down literally like, I think it was 2 hours or so before AEW, and there just wasn't enough time to kind of salvage the situation. But yeah, even though it's not fixed, we've been able to get a workaround for it. I want to jump into the chat and say hello to people. Ellis Dub, shout out to you. Finn should win at Survivor Series. SummerSlam. I always get them mixed up when it's SS. Finn should win at SummerSlam. No debate, in my opinion. Well, that's it then. Thanks, Ellis Dub. Appreciate it. But apparently that conversation ends there. There is no debate to be had. Finn should win at SummerSlam. Hey, I'll tell you one thing that people are going to be looking forward to or keeping an eye on tonight, and that is going to be what next for LA Knight. I made a comment on Twitter, which unsurprisingly didn't go down very well. I said, what if the reason why LA Knight didn't win last week was because they want to have him at SummerSlam? Because it hasn't actually been announced that the winner of this opportunity to face Austin Theory, right? Everyone wanted it to be LA Knight last week. It turned out to be Rey Mysterio. Now we've got Rey versus Santos Escobar. The point I made on Twitter was, well, what if they've done that because they want LA Knight to be at SummerSlam, and there's no guarantee that this Austin Theory match was going to be at SummerSlam? They haven't actually announced it for SummerSlam. And we know that there's a lot of these kind of mid-card matches that end up being on like the Smackdown before. So there's every chance that the winner will face Austin Theory next Friday and not actually at SummerSlam. So this way it leaves them free to use LA Knight at SummerSlam. So, I mean, you could make the argument, even if he was going to be in that match next Friday, you still could use him in some way at SummerSlam. But I'm struggling to believe that he won't feature at all at SummerSlam. I am struggling to believe that. I really think he's going to be there. I really think you're going to see LA Knight at SummerSlam, even if it's in a promo-like segment, even if it is just going to be him talking, coming out doing a promo, a little segment like that, I know everyone's down on it, thinking that he's being buried and all this kind of stuff. I think WWE are very aware of what they've got. I think the results are undeniable. The reactions are undeniable. The merch sales are undeniable. Like everything around him is undeniable. You can see it. You can see the numbers. They will be in the paperwork. They will be aware of what they've got. And I think that listen, the rumor is that the big push is coming for him after SummerSlam. That's the rumor. So I still think there's a chance that you see him at SummerSlam. Even if it is just in one of those like SummerSlam moments, you know. But that is definitely something people are going to be keeping an eye on tonight. What are they going to do with LA Knight? Fire Hazard Days, absolutely. I love that. Yeah. Well, I don't love that, but you are absolutely right. This is very much Fire Hazard Days. Yeah. So like down here, we've got a chiller and a freezer and a few other appliances. So I've got a extension lead to make sure those work. I'm then having to run an extension lead off of that extension lead. Plugged into that is my extension lead, which has got all like this stuff, the screens and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. I am sat here thinking like, do I need 2 screens? Could I get away with no lights? I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do to like reduce my usage of electronics at the moment. I've just seen actually, I've got a thing here which I might be able to. No, maybe I shouldn't mess around with it. Might just leave it as it is. I am a bit worried about it though, legit. LA Dort Knight said, "You are the most electric man in sports entertainment." I know, yeah. Not in a good way as well. Not in a good way. Days, hope you are well. Have a good stream. Did you see Logan and KSI are fighting on the same cards and Misfits in Manchester? I didn't, no. That's good. We'll try and cover that. I haven't seen anything about it, though. I have sort of been drowning a little bit in a few other bits. So, yeah, we'll try and do that card, as long as it doesn't collide with anything else. Steven said, happy days to you. SummerSlam starting to build up now. Yes. Few surprises, I hope. I hope to get power soon. Days, it must be a nightmare. Mate, right now, I am looking at my, the thing that makes funny noises, which I really don't use that much. I'm looking at that thinking, oh my God, I can so turn this off. So, right, that's what I'm doing at the moment. There we go. Okay, done. This thing, you never get a chance to see it, but I always have this. And it had power. Can't go wasting power right now. So, right, that's been disconnected now. I might spend this whole stream just looking at different things going, do I need that? Do I need that? Do I need that? Do I need this? Do I need me? Do I need the camera? Because fire is very real. Fun fact, if it does break out in a fire down here, I'm absolutely screwed because there is only one exit. And, this could be one of those streams that pops up on the, Watch Mojo. Streamers' final moments kind of a situations, right? There's a very real prospect of that. Because there's one exit which is just over there. And I've got quite the electrical situation, so... If I'm going down with you guys. I'm going down streaming. I want you to know that. If I'm going down, I'm going down live. So, could be quite eventful. Right, Kian said, Days, I've got a theory that if Roman beats Jay at SummerSlam, does that leave a door for The Rock to challenge Roman for the title? Waller did call out The Rock at SummerSlam. What are your thoughts? I'm just sort of losing hope with the Rock situation, to be honest. I think I was really excited, really on board with the Rock theory going into WrestleMania this year. Felt really good about it. Really good. And part of that was because of a Paul Heyman interview. Paul Heyman had actually spoken to Ariel Helwani. And Ariel had said, do you think we'll see The Rock? And this was about 2 years ago. And Paul Heyman said, well, if we were going to see The Rock, don't you think WrestleMania in Hollywood would be the place for it? And so ever since then, I was like, oh, is that a little tease? Is that a little mention that we're we're on the way kind of to that situation. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem so. Unfortunately, we didn't get him at WrestleMania. There hasn't been anything really concrete to suggest that The Rock is on the way. So there's nothing. There's nothing. There's just nothing. We've done so many Bloodline stories where you could have put The Rock in and got him involved. You easily could have found a way of putting him in several times into the Bloodline story. I'm just sort of starting to lose hope. I'm just sort of starting to go. I mean, if you're going to do The Rock against Roman, I don't know. Could you do it in Saudi? Maybe. Could he come back at SummerSlam and then we end up doing the match in Saudi? Because really, there's no other big events now other than Saudi. You've got Survivor Series, but Survivor Series, they might do another War Games. And it's not that big, is it, Survivor Series? It'll be in an arena, probably. Like, that show tends to be in an arena. It doesn't tend to be a stadium show like SummerSlam or WrestleMania or even the Royal Rumble. Like, Survivor Series really feels like a B show now. So I can't see them doing The Rock there. So I don't know. I'm starting to lose faith. I think I'm starting to lose faith. Whether he could come back at SummerSlam in like a crazy moment at the end, stare at Roman, and then we build to Saudi. Maybe there's a chance of that, but I would say it's really small. Really, really small. But then, listen, Saudi money speaks. If the Saudis want him, money talks, and they've got a lot of it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm losing hope. Luke said, I don't know about you, but I am loving NXT at the moment. I think they are amazing talent that's coming through. Carmelo, Braun, Von, Tony, Ilya. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I've been really high on NXT. I've been quite vocal about it as well. For me, this feels like maybe the second best period for NXT. Maybe the third. I don't know. It depends how you want to break down that kind of 2013 to 2018 kind of periods. For me, I thought Pandemic was not very good, but then I don't think that was very good for anything at all, right? So I wasn't crazy on that. I really wasn't crazy on NXT 2.0. I think the very first incarnation of NXT is okay. It's got a little merit to it. It's certainly got, seeing Bray as Husky Harris, seeing Daniel Bryan coming through. Like, you could definitely go back to that early NXT and get something from it, but by and large, it wasn't great. It wasn't great at the time, hence why they changed it. And we no longer do that kind of talent show elimination kind of format, because back then it was like, you had your mentors and your rookies, and it was like a competition. It wasn't like a brand. It wasn't like its own promotion, let's put it that way. So like, you can get some from that, but it wasn't the best. So I think, like, for me, I think it took a little while once we moved to Full Sail for us to find our feet. But I think once we got going, so around 2013, going through to, I thought about 2018, I think that is such an amazing period. We're just breaking new ground. You got the horsewomen coming through, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You got all this talent that's coming through, which has gone on to big things. I feel that kind of excitement again now. And so for me, this feels like the second best period after that. I think there is some amazing talent that is coming through. All those names you mentioned, yeah, I would agree. So I wouldn't say it was better, though. I think what this NXT is missing is they're missing established stars. So like when Dragon Lee came in, he came in with a bit of momentum. He came in with a bit of a name. Like, I'd heard of him. I'd seen him compete in New Japan. But a lot of the talent we've got now, like Thea Hale, like Tiffany Stratton, like Carmelo Hayes, even Bron Breakker to a degree, like, these aren't people that have been doing it on the indies. These are people that I believe have come through the Next in Line program. And the Next in Line program is where they get athletes and they go, oh, you look good, we can make a wrestler out of you, and then they train them and make a wrestler out of them. I kind of think that period between 2013 and 2018, when we were going to, all the different promotions like PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Evolve, looking over in Progress, looking at Beyond, looking at Bar Wrestling, going wherever, right? Just bringing in the best talent that was out there. Feels like some of that talent is finding its way to AEW. So, it's quite competitive as to where that good indie talent is now going. And sadly, it's not always finding its way to WWE. So, yeah, I really like this period. I'd say it's probably my second favorite period, which is really good. And I'm really enjoying NXT at the moment. If you're not watching NXT, I would urge you to consider tuning in, because I think it is a really strong promotion at the moment. I think they're doing some really good stuff. NXT No Mercy is coming our way, said Wrestling News, in Atlanta in September. What are you most looking forward to for Great American Bash? What are you most looking forward to? I'm looking forward to... That's on Sunday. We're doing it. I am looking forward to... I don't want to say the main event because it's just a bit boring, isn't it? But, I think it has to be. I think it has to be, because for me, I love Ilya. Ilya Dragunov, for me, is just amazing. Love Ilya. I love his intensity. Thought his match with Dijak was one of the best matches I'd seen this year. And that, I think, was the last NXT show. Was it Stand and Deliver, maybe? Vengeance Day or something. But, yeah, Ilya going for the title, taking on Carmelo Hayes. It's really hard to go with anything other than that, to be honest. I'm not sure how I feel about Tiffany against Thea, because Thea Hale is young, really young, and we haven't seen a great deal out of her. What they seem to have done is they've given her a Kimura. They've taught her how to do a Kimura, and she's actually made people tap with that Kimura. She can do a few bits, but really she's got a puncher's chance, right? Let's put it that way. She is someone that if she's going to win, it's because she's managed to get that Kimura on. They could do it. I think it was Jim in the chat said that the youngest NXT champ was Paige. And because Paige is now over with AEW, they might want to replace her as the youngest champion in NXT with Thea Hale. Which they could absolutely do. It does seem very petty and a bit pointless, to be honest, because no one's talking about that. I'm not seeing any conversations of people saying she's the youngest NXT champ, blah, 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 or using it as a diss, or I don't know. I just haven't seen it brought up in conversation anywhere. So I don't know why we would need to change that. Don't know why that would be a factor or a problem or a consideration. Maybe it isn't. I don't know, but it is strange. You've got Lyra Valkyria right there, who's a very credible challenger. You can find other you could get Gigi Dolan, who would be a very credible challenger. Instead, we've turned to a 19-year-old who hasn't done a great deal in the ring, and just seems a bit weird, a bit left field. I can't call it. I can't tell if they are going to have a win and make her the youngest NXT champ, or is she just going to get fed to Tiffany Stratton and it's just a winnable match? Like how, Rhea faced Zelina Vega, right? Or she faced Natalia, right? As a champion, sometimes you do get given these softballs. And I think Thea Hale right now is a softball, but she might end up winning. There is a reason as to why she might win. So I'm sort of not into the match, because it's not like an epic contest, but I'm sort of intrigued by it at the same time. So I think it's a really strong card. I like the tag match as well. Blair Davenport against Roxanne Perez in a Weapons Wild match should be a lot of fun as well. But for me, I'm going to say that it's the main event all day long. Anything that's going to involve Ilya Dragunov is always going to get my my attention. Everbliss said, can you read my comment? Do you think we will get LA Knight Roman Reigns in the future? Maybe. I don't know. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't. I think with LA Knight, he is someone that do you know what? I got a response on Twitter that really surprised me. And I don't even know if I responded to it, actually. Someone sent me a message saying they've got to pull the trigger on LA Knight now because you don't know when the steam is going to run out of this, you know, the fans being behind him. So you've got to strike now whilst the iron is hot. That was the point they made. Don't think I replied, but the response that I either did reply with or was thinking of replying with was, well, if he's going to run out of steam already, then he's not the right person to back anyway, right? If it is a case that we've got to move now because if we don't move now, we're going to miss the opportunity, well, then he's not the right person to get behind. Because, like, if he has made a real connection with the fans and it's not a fickle connection and it's not a flavor of the month, it's not a flash in the pan. If it's not that and it's something deeper, then this won't be something that goes away anytime soon. And in all fairness, there's no sign of it going away anytime soon. It's not like we are going into this week's SmackDown like, that's it, he's buried, he's done. You know, last week's result, no one's going to care anymore. I expect there to be signs, big reaction when he comes out. This thing is not slowing down. I think part of it as well is the fact that you just see so many people talking about him now because of how popular he's become. And that popularity is feeding more videos, articles. You know, we're seeing little old clips of him popping up, funny moments from the past popping up. And that's you know, maintaining this thing. That's keeping things rolling along. So I would say that, like, if he can't withstand a few bumps, then, you know, he's not worth getting behind anyway. And actually, if WWE are just stalling a little to see if that's the case, I would say that's probably quite wise from a business point of view. I think that it's fine. I think he'll be still as popular and as over as, you know, he is. I think that rough ballpark for me, if I was booking, I would work him to a mid-card title at WrestleMania. I know that might seem like a long way off, but he hasn't done a great deal. Like, since the Bray feud, you could argue it's more what he hasn't done rather than what he has done that has kind of got him over. But we haven't really seen him involved in a back and forth feuds, cutting promos against someone. Like, we haven't seen him do a great deal. I don't even know, outside of the Pitch Black match, if he's had a one-on-one pay-per-view match in WWE. Take the Pitch Black match out. It's a bit of an anomaly anyway. Has he had a pay-per-view, main roster pay-per-view match, other than being in Money in the Bank? You know, as I said, one-on-one pay-per-view match. I don't think he has. He wasn't at WrestleMania. He wasn't at Backlash. He wasn't at Elimination Chamber. He wasn't at Night of Champions. I feel like there's, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, like, give him the mid-card title and they just want to everything now. Oh, slow down. I said this last time, slow down. I think I said it last week. Slow down. I mean, I actually thought Sheamus was going to win last week. I didn't predict it would be Ray, but I did say last week, like, I don't think it'll be LA Knight. And then, you know, I was wrong. I thought it would be Sheamus, and it turned out to be Ray. But yeah, I wouldn't panic too much about, like, where we are with LA Knight. I mean, he is so over. You know, the rumors are they're going to pull the trigger after SummerSlam, and we're going to start to really, you know, see some movement then. So yeah, I think there's a good chance that he will get to a mid-card title. I feel good about him getting to a mid-card title. And if this momentum keeps going, he might find his way to Seth's world title. He might get that at some point. But in no way do I see him being the person to beat Roman. In no way. or I don't see him getting to the point where he even competes against Roman for the title. I mean, he might do it, I don't know, 2 years down the road when we're well past this bloodline thing. But I can't see him going up against Roman at the moment. But maybe Bray is coming back soon, said Miss Clown, and they are saving him for a return to that feud. Maybe. I mean, there are rumors that Bray is on his way back. I saw an article as well where someone, I think it was What Culture, said that someone on Reddit might have found like a little interesting thing. They've spotted a load of skulls backstage. You might remember Becky, was it Becky last week or maybe Monday, actually played with one of the skulls. That to me is nothing, because we have seen for a long, long time that backstage they have a lot of crows and skulls and just imagery. I don't know why they do it, but that's been backstage for a long time. I don't know if it's just a little bit of decoration. Like, I don't know if someone, just to kind of jazz up the kind of backstage area, just goes around and drops a few, like, you know, a few little bits and bobs. I genuinely, I don't know. Maybe the crew find it funny. I don't know. But that kind of imagery has actually been backstage for a long time and has been used for a long time. So certainly I don't read anything into that. But in regards to Bray coming back, there are big rumors that he is getting close. So that was a few days ago, maybe last week. So yeah, I think we could be seeing Bray coming back. And the rumor was that he might be getting involved in one of the big main event matches at SummerSlam. So we could be seeing him get involved maybe with Roman. And, you know, a lot of people have pointed out that Payback's coming up, and Payback was a big, you know, show where I think where Bray lost the title. Was that at Payback? Like 3 years ago. And so this would be full circle. You know, you've got to think that they did want to do Bray against Roman at some point. I would think they probably did. When they brought him back at Extreme Rules last year, I've got to think that what with Bray being seen as like the top babyface on SmackDown and Roman being the top heel, you'd think at some point those two would collide. So yeah, I could definitely see there being a Roman Bray match at Payback. I don't think that's too far-fetched. So yeah, looking at that, I don't think Bray wins though. I wouldn't expect Bray to win that. That might disappoint Bray fans, but I think that it's just a good, credible opponent for Roman, to be honest. I think Cody does it. I think Cody will be the one that'll beat Roman. I think it'll happen at WrestleMania 40, but there's a lot of people wanting it to be Jey Uso. Godfather's host said, Days, I'm firing up that Frenchie Martin. Are you strictly WWE? I waited 13 hours straight yesterday for it in a chat room. I may have had tons of shrooms. R.I.P. Zeus. Hogan had diarrhea. Thank you. Godfather's host, shout out to you. No, we're not strictly WWE. We are, well, certainly no, because we've got boxing tomorrow. Terence Crawford against Errol Spence. Big fight coming up tomorrow. So we're all over that. That stream's been set up all week. So we're still doing our boxing. We're still doing UFC. We're still looking at AEW. But this week, it just wasn't possible because of electrical reasons, which are still giving me problems right now. But yeah, I hope you're well. Godfather's Ho. Lovely Frenchie Martin shout there. Nice. DJ E said, what do you think the final product of the stable Bibbs' building will be like? Well, I feel pretty good that it'll be Street Profits. I think it'll be Bibbs. I think you might want to put in one more guy and maybe a girl. I don't think you really want to go beyond that. I don't think Carmelo, who he was talking to, I don't think Carmelo's going to be a part. Just because if you take Carmelo, I sort of think you have to take Trick Williams as well. I don't think you want to add Trick, Carmelo, Street Profits, and Bobby all in this group. Like a group of 5 guys is a lot. It's a lot. They can kind of, you know, if you have too many people, you're really struggling to get mic time, promo time. So, you know, if you do like a segment, even now with, say, Judgment Day, like it's hard for them to all get time to talk because you've only got so much time and there's 4 people and they all need time to talk. You don't really want to be going to 5 people, 6 people because it's just too cluttered. It's too cluttered. So I'm thinking that there's a chance that we get one more person added. I think someone like Apollo would be brilliant in that because Apollo's always struggled on his own. So I think if we could get like Apollo, Bobby, Street Profits, and then maybe a female in there. Don't know what female you would go with. I don't know who you would go with. I feel like it needs to be someone that would really fit in with whatever the group's going to do. I feel like maybe Bianca because of Montez, but that would be big. That would be big. Normally, you'd want to put in someone that maybe needs a bit of nurturing, you know? So Bianca would be, I mean, that would be a mega group if you was going to do that. If you're going to do a group like that, you tend to put in someone that needs a bit of help. I don't think the Street Profits do. They can stand on their own 2 feet. Bianca can stand on her own 2 feet. Bobby can stand on his own 2 feet. Apollo does struggle. But I don't know. If you look at Judgment Day, they've got like Dominic Mysterio. If you look at Bloodline, they've got Solo Sikoa, who can stand on his own 2 feet now. But don't forget, you know, when he first came in, he was the new kid on the block, and you know, we are 12 months down the road now, so he's been quite the project. I don't know, perhaps going to do that with Apollo. Perhaps Apollo's going to have a bit of work, you know. I because of Montez, I'll say the one that makes the most sense would be Bianca. So Street Profits, Bianca, Bobby, and then I think one more, Apollo at a guess. Hayden, shout out to you. I hope you're well, bud. I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well. Everbliss said, if LA Knight is a heel, why is he being cheered? He should be a face. Well, I think they're going to tidy that stuff up. I mean, the fans don't always do what WWE want them to do. I mean, for example, Roman Reigns was a face, but he would often get very negative reactions. Look at when he won, was it the 2015 Royal Rumble? And he got absolutely booed out in the building. They even had The Rock come down to the ring and hold up Roman's hand. Basically, like, you know, The Rock saying, here's your winner. You know, this is my guy, basically, you know. This is my blood. You know, here's the winner of the Rumble. Show him some love. And they continued to boo him out the building. The truth is, the fans don't always do what WWE want them to do. And that's fine. WWE then has a choice to make. And that choice is, do you persist with what you want to do? Or do you react to what the fans want you to do and how the fans are reacting? And honestly, we've seen WWE choose both paths, you know? We've seen WWE listen to the fans and change someone's character. But equally, we've seen them listen to the fans and shrug their shoulders and go, not bothered. We're going to do what we want to do. So LA Knight at the moment, he's kind of, it seems a little like he is transitioning a bit more to being a face. We haven't really seen him do too much, anything too heelish over the past few weeks. So, I don't know. I'd say it's up in the air at the moment. I kind of think that he's in this kind of waiting to see what his creative is going to be point area. That's where he is for me. So, is he a heel at the moment? Don't know. You can debate it. He has been a heel. He has been a heel. That's been undeniable. He has been a heel. As to what we're going to do with him going forwards, don't know. Don't know. The rumor is his big push is coming after SummerSlam. Ryan Gambler, shout out to you. Ryan said, I hope your electric gets fixed. And we got an electrician coming tomorrow. So I do. It's something to do with like a circuit or something. Like we it's like something keeps blowing it all out. So we've had to like look at all the sockets, turn them all off, check to see like, you know, what it is that's causing the problem, but just cannot find it. Cannot find what the issue is. So and you know what electricians are like, nightmare to try and get a hold of, and you have to seriously pay if you want them there and then. Understandable. So we're finally getting someone over tomorrow, so not ideal, and really not ideal having an extension lead and an extension lead and extension lead. So my plan tomorrow is see what the electrician can find tomorrow. If not, I'm going to buy an extension lead, like a really long one. Going to run it from the kitchen all the way down here. So at least that way it's just one extension lead rather than an extension lead into an extension lead. So we should be all right for like tomorrow. The worst part is tonight, really, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see. Is there any truth? Randy LA Knight segment at SummerSlam. Does LWO turn on Ray tonight? No idea about Randy LA Knight thing. I haven't seen that reported, so I can't say. Could there be so much? Sure, but I would say it's speculation. I wouldn't say that it's yeah, it's happening. I have not seen that at all. I haven't seen that at all. So I would say that is there any truth to it? I would say approach with caution. Could I see it happening? Yeah, I could. I mean, I can honestly see LA Knight being there in some sort of segment. And I think Big E, Randy, you know, Bray, there's a few that we can see potentially coming back at SummerSlam. So could he cross paths with some of those? Sure. So it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard, but I've not seen anything on it. And does LWO turn on Ray tonight? I hope not, to be honest. I hope not. I don't think they should. I think that they've been very respectful of Ray. I think that it's been not long enough for that turn to really have any impact. I think it would be a very small talking point. It would be a very minor talking point if they did. I think if you want that to have some more impact, you need to really put more work in. Like, they've not been doing a great deal with the LWO. Really, the best thing we did with them was during Backlash, when we was, you know, got Zelina going for the championship. You had them helping Bad Bunny. So, you know, there was a few bits that we did with them during Backlash. But since then, it's just been a bit flat, hasn't it? So, I don't know. I wouldn't turn them. I don't think it would be that significant. I think there'd be a little reaction, but unless you've got some really good creative plans and you need Ray out the way, and it's just, let's do it. We're not doing it because we want a reaction. We're doing it because we know where we want to get to. Maybe you could do it for that reason. But to be honest, I wouldn't. I think Santos beats Ray tonight, and I think Ray will give Santos his blessing. A lot of this feels like a bit of a passing of the torch. I think actually what we've got is, and this is something that people might not quite take into account sometimes, I think that in Latin America, there is a real buzz around WWE. Maybe that's as a result of Bad Bunny. I genuinely don't know. Ray obviously is a massive superstar, but we saw Backlash how well that did, and it just feels like there's a bit of a buzz around Latin America at the moment. And I think that WWE are looking for future Latin American stars, and I think Santos could be significant for them. Santos could be someone that they're looking at thinking, yeah, we can get somewhere with this guy. We can do something with this guy. We like how we like his in-ring style, his decent promo. He looks great. So this could be a mini passing of the torch tonight. So I don't think I'd be expecting any heel turns or anything, but never rule it out. Never rule it out. It's obviously not the worst thing in the worst idea in the world. It could happen. Undercover Manager said, could we start to get longer feuds like we had in the 90s, and also people having more than one feud at a time, or having a feud we're having a little challenge. It's like 4-week feud and then on to the next one. I think well, longer stories are something which WWE need to look at. I think Bloodline has shown that it works. I think you are going to really struggle to commit to a lot of long-term stories, though. Just because you're always going to have injuries, there's always going to be people that, you know, can't make it because of various things. Like, for example, Bianca last week was meant to be on SmackDown, but there was a bit of a COVID scare, so she wasn't on the show. You've got like wellness violations if you look at the likes of Riddle, injuries if you look at the likes of Big E and Randy. These are problems which really get in the way of you telling like lots of long-term stories. So I think you're right to have a long-term story in the sense of Bloodline, or in the sense of, you know, like Edge and Judgment Day, right? I mean, there are a few things that you can do, but I don't think like having loads of long-term stories is something that WWE is going to get to. Just because I think it'd be too difficult. That's a lot of like plates that you're spinning. You kind of want a bit more flexibility. So I think WWE will definitely have a few long-term stories running. You could even say, you know, look at Bray and Uncle Howdy. That story was playing out over a series of months. So yeah, look, there are some long-term stories that we have been telling rather than just some quick little feuds. There are some longer-term stories, but I think that WWE will always want that mixture of short-term, long-term, and try to, you know, find that kind of sweet spot. But Sinan said, who do you think should fight in the first women's fight pit if it happens? I think Ronda and Shayna. Yeah, I'd be down for Ronda and Shayna. I'd be down for that. Maggie said, you're talking about my favorite thing, especially Roman. I pray Roman doesn't get injured or sick, says Maggie. Yeah, I think I do as well. I mean, with Roman, you do worry about his, was it leukemia that he came out and said that he had been suffering with? Like, he has had some serious health issues in the past. And I think that he is someone that needs to be careful, needs to look after himself. Maybe that's something we can be guilty of forgetting when we are looking at how many title defenses he has had, right? It's easy to look at that and go, oh, he's lazy, blah, blah, blah. But actually, he has had some serious health problems throughout his life. And actually not that long ago as well. So, yeah, you know, we should just be grateful, I suppose, for what we get. And, yeah, I agree. Don't want anyone to get any serious health problems, you know? But yeah, it feels like this Bloodline story is nearing its end. I expect it, as I said earlier, to finish at WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania against Cody, finish the story type thing. He didn't do it this year. They put a little obstacle in his way. It'll make it sweeter when he does get it. Great. Yeah. Tick in the box. So I'm optimistic that hopefully Roman should be able to see it through. How would you book Roman after he loses the title, said Bishop? I'd definitely give him some time off. I'd give him some time off because I think that he has been pretty ever-present. I think he could do with a bit of a break. I think then you bring him back in either... I think you bring him back where either a baby face is being quite smug, like, I've beaten everyone, we've done it, guys, like, you know, it was massive, you know, getting past Brock is one of the hardest things you can do, but, you know, I'm looking forward to what's next. And then you bring back Roman, and it's like that facial reaction of the baby face, like, oh my God. A little bit like, you know, Cena, when he was talking about, I think, moving on, what's going to be next for him after facing The Rock, and then Brock came back. Like, that was sick. So yeah, I think like you can either bring him back as a heel to go after some sort of baby face, or you can bring him back as a baby face. Like, if you've got someone being beaten up by a monster heel, and you need, like, you know, someone to make the save. If Roman's music hits, people will be so excited to see him. If he comes down and starts laying out the heels, like, you know, the crowd will be right behind him. They'll be right behind him. You can go either way with Roman. You can go either way with him in that moment. You can make him heel, you can make him face when you bring him back. So I would definitely look to do that. As to who he should face, honestly, I think it's hard to say, because I don't think then you're not only booking Roman, you're booking the whole division, because who's going to be the monster heel? Who's going to be the monster face that Roman can come back and face? You know, you could make an argument that he could come back and go after Solo, depending on what happens. Like, maybe Solo turns on Roman, then, you know, Roman goes away for a bit, comes back, goes after Solo. So you could definitely make that argument. You could definitely have I don't think I'd have Roman come back and go after Cody. I don't think I would do that. I think I'm not too interested in seeing them two battle again. Not if they're going to face at 40. So we saw him at WrestleMania 39. If we see him at WrestleMania 40 as well, don't need Roman to go away and then come back and then see them face again. So yeah, I that's not one that I'd be leaning towards. So yeah, I think you're looking really to see who your monster faces, who your monster heels are going to be. And actually, we haven't really got too many big imposing people for Roman to come back and go after. So maybe it will have to be someone like Solo. Maybe it'll have to be someone like Solo. Don't think there's any, like, you know, you'd love for it to be like a new Brock. That would be awesome. A new Brock. We don't really have a new Brock. There isn't another Brock, which is a shame. Hence why him and Brock have faced so many times. And it shouldn't be Brock, by the way. And I don't know, someone like Austin Theory, someone like, maybe someone like Gunter you could maybe do, you know? Maybe you could get somewhere with Gunter, but timeline-wise, I think it's going to be a bit difficult. But that's one, I think, to really get stuck into. And for like a video or something. Do you think we will have Jey Uso Roman versus Solo? No, I don't think so. Isaac said, do you think Cody is still the right person to beat Roman? Cody has lost a lot of momentum since WrestleMania. No, I think he's the right person. I don't think he's lost that much momentum. I think that he has been involved in a feud with Brock. I think they've still used him every week on the show. I think if you are talking about finishing the story and being built up to face Roman, and then you don't succeed, you, of course, are going to suffer some sort of decline, right? But if you look at the reactions that Cody's getting, if you look at the merch sales, the views, if you just look at the, like, everything surrounding him, it's still really strong. It's, you know, so if what we're seeing right now is Cody in a bit of a lull, well, I mean, the numbers are great for a lull. So I think he's in a great place. I think he's absolutely fine. You once you get him back round to going for the title again, finishing the story, start building him back up, WrestleMania season, all that kind of stuff, absolutely fine. Be absolutely fine. Cody has got something so special that no one else has got, and that is a real, serious, tangible reason as to why he needs the WWE Championship. A lot of other people need it because they want it. It's not really that great of a reason, right? It doesn't really connect with the fans in the same way that Cody's reason does. Cody's reason is that his dad tried to win it and failed. His brother tried to win it and failed. And even Cody himself tried to win it and failed. He has, had a career in WWE. He was Stardust. He was dashing Cody Rhodes. He was in Legacy. Big things were expected of Legacy when they were with Randy Orton. Thought those two would go. I mean, honestly, if you was watching wrestling at the time, there was a lot of buzz around Legacy that they were going to be the future. These two, Ted DiBiase Jr., the $1 Million Man's son, and Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes' son. I mean, it was a no-brainer that both of those were going to be the future of the company. I remember lots of forums and chat rooms and whatever talking about the fact that these two are going to be main event in WrestleMania for years to come, and there was a real expectation around those two going on, kicking on, and being the next big thing. But they didn't. They didn't. I mean, Ted DiBiase ends up leaving, and Cody ends up as Stardust, gets disgruntled, disillusioned, and ends up leaving. So now he's back. He wants to finish the story. His family have never won the WWE Championship. He wants to get that done. He wants to do it for his dad. We all know his dad. I mean, maybe it wouldn't hit the same if his dad was someone we've never seen. But it's considering his dad is one of the greatest wrestling legends ever. And we've all watched his matches, and we know loads about him. We've got like an affection for him. Like, we want Cody to do it so that he can do it for Dusty, for Dustin as well, for Goldust. People love Goldust as well. And that is so real and tangible that you can warm that back up whenever you want. Right, it might be on the back burner right now. It might be simmering away on the back burner, but you can easily move that to the front hob whenever you want and bring it back to the boil. So yeah, I still feel like he is the best option, because I can't really make an argument for anyone else that's got as good a reason. And add in the fact that it's Cody. He left AEW to come to WWE. That was a big acquisition by WWE, and I'm sure they appreciate that, right? I know a lot of people have got this narrative that WWE are trying to bury Cody Rhodes because he came from AEW, blah, 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 blah. I actually think the opposite. I actually think they're going to invest in Cody because he came from AEW. Reason being, thank you for choosing us over them, right? Because it's a big dub for us that we've got over AEW, that you've come to us and not stayed with them, right? Appreciate it. But not only that, like, if they build him up and have him as the guy, it's a great message to send to the other people at AEW. So if you bury Cody now, what's MJF going to think? What's Wardlow going to think? What's Powerhouse Hobbs going to think? They're going to look at it and go, look, there's no point me going to WWE because what chance do I stand? What's the point in me trying to go to WWE? Look what they've done to Cody. So it's not in WWE's benefit to bury Cody Rhodes. It is in their benefit to actually get behind him, build him up, because there's an amazing story that needs to be completed. And also, he chose them over AEW. Thank you. And it's a great message to send to the other AEW superstars, which means you might be able to then attract a few more coming over. So, I don't know. I think I think he's in a good place. I don't think he's in a bad place at all. I think you can make the argument that this story with Brock has not been that great. I don't disagree with that. I think the creative here could have been better. I think as an opponent, though, you can't complain with it. I mean, if you're not going to be feuding with Roman, the next best person to be feuding with is Brock. If you're in WWE and you're not competing for the title, the next best person to be in a feud with would be Brock. Just like back in the day, if you weren't competing for the title, the next best person to be competing with was The Undertaker. And we don't have The Undertaker now. So now, like, Brock is the next best person to be in a feud with. Because Brock's, he's not there every week. He's a big superstar. He's big time. He's box office. He's main event. He is, he's someone that, means you are still very much in the mix. So, yeah, no, I think Cody's absolutely fine. I think he's fine. Days, do you think SmackDown will be fire tonight? What do you think about Mandy coming back? Jade Cargill in talks with WWE. I think Mandy has got a choice to make. I don't think WWE will bring her back unless she quits doing her, you know, whatever it is, or OnlyFans, whatever. I don't think she'll come back unless she drops that. I think that's I don't know. There might be too much water under the bridge anyway for her to come back, but I'd like to think that door will stay open. It's just you've got to stop doing and take down what you've done. But we know that anything that goes on the internet stays on the internet. So I don't know. It's hard to know if there's too much water under the bridge though. In regards to Jade Cargill, she's green, man. She is so green. She's got a great look. I think you could definitely bring her in. She would 100% go to NXT. 100%, right? She ain't rocking up on the main roster. So if she comes in, she could go to NXT. She's got some really good experience. She, you know, if you look at someone like Lash Legend in NXT, like Jade Cargill's ahead of Lash Legend. So, you know, she'd be absolutely fine in NXT. Of course she would. She's got some great experience, lots of TV experience, but it's her actual in-ring. She's still really green. So get her in, do a bit of work, give her a run as the NXT Women's Champion, build her up for 12 months or whatever, and then, you know, bring her up to the main roster. So if she comes in, brilliant. If she doesn't, I'm not bothered. I'm not a massive Jade Cargill fan, if I'm being honest. I think her look is amazing. I think WWE would probably falling over trying to get a hold of her because they put a lot of value into the look. The look means a lot to them. So I think they were, you know, tripping over themselves trying to get Jade Cargill. But I don't know. I've never seen a single great Jade Cargill match. And actually, if anything, I've seen plenty of botches from Jade Cargill. Remember that one where she got pinned and forgot to kick out? I'm not making that up. If you don't watch AEW, I'm not making it up. She had an undefeated streak, right, which they were really building up, making a massive thing out of this undefeated streak. And she got pinned, and she just didn't kick out. It was 1, 2, and Aubrey Edwards had to, like, actually stop the count. She had to, like, not drop for the 3. And refs are told that you are meant to do that. But in all fairness to Aubrey Edwards, had she have done that, if she had done that, then, you know, that would have been the end of Jade Cargill's title reign. It would have been the end of her undefeated streak. It would have cost the company, you know, a fair bit of money, dare I say, because I think there might have been a bit of money in that undefeated streak. They certainly was advertising it a lot. So if all of that had gone away, it could have been a disaster. Certainly for Jade. So yeah, you know, I mean, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone that forgets to kick out. Right? We're dealing with someone that just looks a bit lost in the ring. We're dealing with someone that she knows where the cameras are. She looks like $1 million. She, if you want to be kind, was better than she was when she had her first matches. But it's not great. I mean, she had a match with, is it Taya Valkyrie? And it was just awful. Awful. And that was one of her more recent matches. And I haven't seen loads of Taya Valkyrie, but I'm told she's a great wrestler. So if that match is not very good, I think Jade has to take her fair share of criticism for it. I don't know. I'm not a massive Jade fan. I think there's definitely a lot of work to be done there. Right, we should be starting soon. I see Brian Pillman Jr. involved at Great American Bash, says Bembo. It'd be good to see him come in. Hello. Have we got? Hang on, let me change this. Let's go. They're on the wrong channel. Right. Better than me. No, there ain't nobody. No, there ain't nobody. Okay. we are going over to SmackDown. 1 week from tomorrow, SmackDown, baby. Jam-packed. Where are we? We're in New Orleans. Okay, so we're in New Orleans. We the real ones sign, I can see. Who's coming out first? Main event Jey Uso coming out. Main event Jey Uso coming out. Oh, main event Jey Uso in the ring. Okay, main event Jey Uso. Can you believe it's been a month since Money in the Bank, says Russell Andy? Has it really? That has flown. Andy, shout out to you, buds. Hope you're well. Why did main event Jey Uso not get an entrance? Why did main event Jey Uso not get a flipping entrance? What main eventers do you know get jobber entrances? What WWE have told me is that main event Jey Uso is a jobber. That's what WWE have taught me. There was a kid that was so excited at Roman coming out. There was a kid in the crowd that was just absolutely bouncing all over that arena. As soon as Roman's music hit. Dun, dun. At least for now, Roman Reigns is still the tribal chief. Okay, so main event Jey in the ring. Days, hopefully these plugs hold up. Oh, you'll have more pyro than Ricky Starks, said Steve. Dude, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Okay, so Roman in the entranceway. Smirk on his face. I love these CGI graphics. Look at that. That's cool. That's like the front of a car, and the grill is the match graphic. It's pretty sick, man. These SummerSlam graphics are really strong. I really like them. Roman making his way down. Seems like we got a fair few kids around. Jay always looks like a bad student with anger issues, said Ray, being scolded by the teacher. I agree. I don't look at Jay and see the face of the company. I don't look at Jay and see the next tribal chief. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he needs to be. I don't know. I mean, surely you look at Solo and see the next tribal chief. I look at Solo. Of all the options, Solo is the one that you look at and go, yeah, he'll be the next tribal chief. He might not be the next tribal chief. Someone else might come along before that happens. There's plenty in the Anoa'i family, right? I'm sure someone else will find their way to WWE, but I don't look at Jay as being that person. Roman with a smile on his face. Roman's loving life. You know, and you should, shouldn't you, really? You should enjoy every day. Enjoy every day as if it's your last. Roman in the ring. Eric said, I wonder how long it will be before a WWE star trashes the Detroit sports team at SummerSlam, said Eric. Heyman isn't carrying the old belts this time. Ah, well spotted. Yeah, they're very true. It's just, we've just got that one title that Roman's got. Perhaps they're trying to make this very simple. You know, what is on the line is that belt and that Ulafala. And that's Ulafala, the red thing, that is given to the tribal chief. So, Uso chance. New Orleans. Nolans. Acknowledge me. There we go. Being from Michigan, it's true. We do have the worst teams right now, said Samantha. But, you know, I'm sure things will improve. Okay, so how is this going to play out? We've got Jay, we've got Roman, we got Uso chance. Jay taking a few steps forward. You want to know why you like the Usos? Because of me. Roman said, do you know why you like the Usos? Because of me. When the tribal chief is scheduled to appear, then the tribal chief opens his show. Why do you think they called you the right-hand man? Because I made you that? Why do you think they called you main event? I know the answer to this one. I know the answer to this. Because Roman made him that. Not SmackDown related. How good is it seeing Dana get some time on NXT? Said WrestleMania. Yeah, but really good. And a good fun match as well. Kendo stick match was good. Quite brutal, actually. All you've wanted for 3 years is to be the tribal chief. You think you're the tribal chief now? He says no. I never wanted any of that, said Jay. All I did for you was watch your back. Support you. I believed in you. I believed you could lead this company and this family. But you broke this family. Good line. You broke this family. Didn't break this company, though, did he? It's raining money. You broke the family. You broke the bloodline. You broke Jimmy. And it's all your fault. Whoa, 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 whoa. Roman's not happy about this. Roman's not happy about this. Whoa, 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 whoa. I ain't going to sit here and take that blame. First of all, he's standing. Idiot. Stupid tribal chief. Doesn't even know when he's sitting and standing. As soon as Jimmy got hurt, what did you do? You asked for a championship match. Is you selfish? That is true, isn't it, actually? As soon as Jimmy got hurt, Jay came out and went, I want a title match. That is actually, you know, the tribal chief is spitting some facts. Okay, so Roman really laying it onto Jay here. Jay looking uncomfortable. You don't get it. You're gonna be all alone. You screwed your twin brother. Solo loves and respects me more than he does you. You won't be a part of this legacy. You won't be a part of this history. Let's just say you do beat me. Cheer from the crowds. Captivate him. That means you take this. And this, the Ulafala. That means you take everything. I would no longer be the tribal chief. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be Roman Reigns. You got nothing. You can't beat me. There's a lot of you've got no one. You're going to be on your own. You've got nothing. Solo, innit? Solo. Why would we be saying all that? You're on your own. No one likes you. You've got nothing. He's got something. Uso chance. Roman wants to know. Jay's smirking a little bit there. Camera. Here's Jay. I already beat you, said Jay. Why do you think you can beat me? Because I've already beat you. I'm the only one to do it. At SummerSlam. I'm going to beat you again. All Jay needed to say is, I brought more soldiers than you did, said Wisp. I wish I could watch live, but it's not a part of my Fox. WFC, Fighting Creator, shout out to you. Chris said, if Jay becomes Tribal Chief, does that mean Jay will have Solo and Heyman? Well, no, Heyman is Roman's wise man. So I think Heyman would have a decision to make at that point. I think Heyman does always want to serve that family. So it'd be interesting. He doesn't automatically get him. I mean, it would be for Heyman to decide as to whether he wanted to stay with Roman, go with the... You know what Heyman's like, though. He'd probably go with the new tribal chief. So he probably would go with Jay, but I wouldn't... I'm not expecting Jay to win. I beat you at SummerSlam. I'll do it again. Right. Rikishi needs to get involved at some point, said Jeremy. I would love Jay to win, said Smith Thu. Sir Killer said, Jay is so disrespected. He hurt Roman's feelings. Days, what version of Bray will be at SummerSlam if he returns, said Dennis. Well, I think it'd be great if it was The Fiend, but I wouldn't expect The Fiend. I think it would probably just be Bray. I think it would be Bray in that mask that we've seen, you know, the black mask, or one of the Uncle Howdy, not the Uncle Howdy mask that Uncle Howdy wears, but you know, the Uncle Howdy mask that was being sold on WWE Shop. You know, the mask that Bray wore when he was at Extreme Rules. I mean, he came back to WWE wearing that mask. He's been away. He's only been away 4 months. I know it feels like a long time, but all things considered, it's not that long. I think he'd probably just come back with that mask, to be honest. I wouldn't be expecting The Fiend. I think The Fiend will show at some point. I think we get The Fiend at some point. But I can't say I'd be expecting The Fiend in the ring at SummerSlam. Although, if they want to cause a big stir, a big commotion, then bringing The Fiend back at SummerSlam would certainly do it. Right, here we go then. Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. Boyaka, boyaka. That was a cool segment. It also didn't take up half the show. That's a good thing. I want to see the rest of the show shine tonight, says Ellis Dub. I want to see if they're capable of it. You're a very demanding young man, aren't you, LSW? Sound like a judge on America's Got Idol. Why do they have to fight each other? Because this is the final of the tournament to find the next challenger for Austin Theory. The United States Championship Invitational Final. LWO versus LWO. Let's go. I think Jimmy will cost Jay the match, said Greggy. Ooh. Ooh. Have you seen the new Legends figures appearing at Smith's today? No. I might have seen them. Because I am aware of the figures that are coming out, but I've not seen what's been added to Smith's today. Pug said, if SmackDown don't have LA Night Spot, I am not watching WWE again. But Solo turns on Roman is my bet, said White Lotus. Maggie said, it always shines when Roman is on. Any shinier, Roman would blind you. Dimensional X-Tuber said the only L that should be in the US title match is LA Knight. Well, he's not. He's not. He is sure to be on the show. Settle down, LA Nightmares, or whatever you're called. I would expect to see him at some point. Zoom said WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 40. Isaac said crowd is kind of dead tonight. Hey, they were good. They were good at the very start. When the show first began, they were very good. But I don't know. I think, you know, they were just, I think they were just listening, to be honest. I mean, same as me. I mean, it was a captivating opening segment. Just listening and like trying to see where it was going to go. And you never know with the Bloodline. So many little twists and turns. You never quite know what you're going to get. So you do have to really pay attention. Kieran said, Days, who wins this match? I'm going to go with Santos. Gonna go with Santos. What champion do you think Damian Priest will cash in on? I think he cashes in on the world champion. So I think he'll cash in on probably Finn. I think there's a great chance that Finn wins and then Damian cashes in on him. I mean, we've been teasing that for a while. So for Finn to finally do it, win that title, and then it gets taken away from him, maybe immediately. Imagine that. Imagine at SummerSlam, Finn wins and then Damian cashes in immediately. I just think it's right there for you. It's right there for you to do that. We've teased it and everything. I feel good that that's the direction we're going to go. Andrew said, hear me out. Bray and Randy both show up. Feud with LA Knight. Keeps the heat off Priest and makes a hell of a pop at SummerSlam. Paul said, Jay hates Heyman and Solo. Tribal Chief will win and remain Tribal Chief. Roman will really punish Jay and Jimmy and anyone that gets in his way. He will really flex his muscle power and dominate now, said Paul. Ellis Dub said, Priest cashing in on Finn is the climax of that split storyline. I would tease it and drag it out to an inevitable cash-in. Q the Light Knight said, I think he said he got you what you're going to do. Roman's punishing the fans by wrestling, said Dimension X Tuber. Greggy said, Days, do you think AEW footage will be in the Cody documentary? No. Well, apparently there is being the Elite footage from the YouTube channel that's run by the Bucks, but not AEW footage. Austin Theory interferes to set up a triple threat match, said Glenn. Oh, hello, here's Jey Uso backstage. Grayson. I love the passion. If you win or lose, you're probably going to lose. I'm on my talk show. Little J. Oh, he slaps him. Well, that's not gone well, has it? So Jey Uso wallops Grayson Waller after he disrespects him. Loading dock passes only. Right, here is Santos Escobar making his way down. Ray was on the bump the other day. He said he wants to beat Dom, said Daz. He already has. He wants to beat him again. He beat him at WrestleMania. Roman will make them humble, said Defcon Eric. Was that a skull on top of the shelf behind him? It absolutely could be. Skulls backstage are something that we've seen quite a lot of. That's not... honestly, it's really not something I'm reading into. Skulls have been backstage for a long time. Rey Mysterio, said Olivia. That wasn't nice, said Scottish Nightmare. Sonny Wolf said, I want to get more oil paint and canvases to paint random stuff. Sonny, I hope you're well. Right, we've got a handshake between Ray and Santos. Ring, ring, ring. Right, the two locking up. Round the back, Santos goes behind Ray. Roll up there by Santos. Kick out by Ray. So we are up and running with this. Jessica Carr is the referee. Sonny said, I'm doing good. I lost my laundry key. So no laundry for a while till I get a new key. Well, there's worse problems. That's a lovely little move there by Santos. Santos keeping Ray grounded at the moment. Hello, where are we going? Special guests. Who's watching? Austin Theory. Austin Theory. Look at that. He's got that whole section to himself. Austin Theory. He's got some popcorn. He's got his feet on the seats. Pretty good view in it. That's a pretty good view. He's got his own skybox. Ray getting up to his feet. Santos working on the arm. Santos going around the back of Ray. Ray getting slammed down. So Austin Theory watching on. Oh, heavy kick there by Santos. Slap coming back there by Ray. Slap coming back by Santos. There you are. It's getting a little bit personal here. You don't expect to see slaps between these two. Santos in position for the 619, but Santos gets out the ring. Ray goes over the top. Over the top with the senton, comes crashing down onto Santos Escobar. Theory enjoying what he's seeing. James said, does Ray win here and Legado del Fantasma come in to turn heel at SummerSlam and ruin his title opportunity? I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting Santos to win. And for us to basically crown Santos. I mean, I think there's a good chance for Santos winning against Theory. Days, how awesome was the Hurt Business? It was good, yeah. Became the best group during WWE matches that we could have seen them against Hurt Business, Undisputed Era. That would have been epic, said Russell. I like Hurt Business. I mean, Undisputed Era, obviously, were down in NXT. They never quite made it to the main roster. I think that was maybe part of the problem of the Hurt Business, was that there wasn't actually loads of great groups for them to get into juicy feuds with. Hurt Business would be good now. You know, I mean, imagine Hurt Business against Bloodline when Bloodline were proper altogether. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Even that boat's kind of sailed, unfortunately. Hurt Business against Judgment Day would be pretty good now. You could always do Hurt Business against LWO. It's always been a bit of a problem, like, because when you do get a faction like that, there doesn't tend to be too many other factions around. But we've got a few factions at the moment. Few factions. But yeah, I mean, obviously it looks like Street Profits and Bobby are getting together, about to do something together. So hopefully that leads to something. We were talking about that earlier, actually. Please don't clog up the screen with emojis, says LA Night. Sensei said, I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam. 30 years ago, when it was last in Detroit, was my first live event. Wow. That's amazing. Now 30 years later, I get to take my son to his first event. Sensei Felix, shout out to you. I love that. Your first live event was 30 years ago. I mean, that would have been SummerSlam 93. So that would have been the Yokozuna, Lex Luger, Lex Express. Would have been Jerry Lawler, Bret Hart, with Doink being the replacement. It's I love 93. 93 is the first full year that I watched of WWE, and I've got a real fondness for that year. So I didn't actually know that was Detroit, to be honest. But that is really cool. Have a great time, and I'm sure your son will have a great time this time around. It'll be bigger. I mean, I remember that show being, I think, was it in an arena? I think it was. I don't remember that being outside. Business wasn't great in 93. So, yeah, 93 was just an arena. This time around, it's going to be a massive, massive stadium. It's going to have a different feel, definitely. Okay, against the ropes goes Ray. Duck underneath. Half an hour in the show already, you know. Santos, collides into Ray. Santos gets dumped over the top to the outside. Top rope enziguri. It's this is quite an important match, this. Not only is it that Ray kid. Not only is this the final, but as we said, you know, this could be a bit of a passing of the torch. I mean, really, Latino-wise, Santos is probably the best we've got to take that mantle from Ray, other than Dominic. I don't know if Dominic can represent that Latino community, though. It coming in there by Ray. I don't know how much time he's spent in, like, Mexico. I'm sure he's been there. No doubt about that. And I'm sure the Mexican people would get behind Dominic if he was obviously not playing his current character. But I don't know, you could see why they're looking at someone like Santos. Close there for Ray. Close. I tell you what, he's really getting through that popcorn. Austin Theory. He has made a serious dent into that popcorn. Escobar going against the ropes. Ray. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Santos Escobar. 1, 2. Shoulder up. WWE feels like softcore porn, said AJG. Yes. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Too many stand there and hit me moments. Okay. I don't think I've seen the same porn as you, to be honest. I can't say I've seen too many people saying, like, hit me. Each to their own. Listen, whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. Shot coming in there by Santos. I mean, there are a lot of masks in porn, in all fairness, as well, so there is that. He's on the shoulders of... Oh, nice. Oh! Head scissors. He actually hurled Santos into the edge of the ring. Ray back in the ring, going against the ropes. Ray under that bottom rope. Santos moves out the way. You know, like how he likes to go sliding underneath that bottom rope. Well, he did that, and there was no one there. Santos going against the ropes. He's going suicide dive. Tope suicina. And I think we're going to another commercial break. We are. Let's go. Ray should pass the mask onto Dominic someday. I think if I don't know, I don't know, to be honest, because I know that we saw Ray without. I know that we saw Ray without the mask in WCW, but I sort of feel like we don't need that mask on Dominic. I don't know if it's because I've seen him without the mask. I've never seen him in a mask. So, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I feel like he should pass the mask to Dominic. I agree with that. But I don't know if Dominic should wear it. An interesting one. That's an interesting one. I always thought he should. I always thought he should, but he has managed to get over now on his own without it. And honestly, now for him to put that mask on, it might be a bit of a step backwards. We've done a lot of work getting Dominic out of Ray's shadow. Like, Dominic is off doing his own thing. He's telling his own stories. If you now put the Ray mask on him, he's just going right back in Ray's shadow. He's always going to be compared to Ray. I mean, that's going to be a problem anyway. But at least he can go off and do his own thing. If he's wearing the mask, and the thing with the mask is, you know, it does cut down on facial expressions. I think that Ray, because of his size, needed that bit of mystery. Needed needed the mask, to be honest. I don't think Dominic does. He's bigger, he's taller, he's forging his own path. I always thought at the start he should, when he first came in. But since he joined with Judgment Day, I don't think he needs it now. I don't think he needs it. It's a really interesting one, though. Really, I could understand people being on both sides of the argument on that. Do you think Escobar can win a mid-card title, said Skinman? Yes, buds, definitely. What has Dom done, said Zoom Station? Won the North American title. Been in a pretty good match with his dad at WrestleMania. Obviously, the whole Mammy thing, really fun video vignette thing where he was arrested and obviously then started having fun with, you don't know what it was being like in prison and all of that. I think he's done a lot since coming into Judgment Day. You can say, yeah, but that's, you know, that's WWE that have given him that as a creative. Well, yeah, sure, but you can make that argument for a lot of wrestlers, you know. He's done what he's been given, and what he's been given has, you know, got massive heat on him. Massive heat. But his match with Ray at WrestleMania was a really good match. Really good. And I know, like, he's won the North American title, but he had to do it with cheating and all that kind of stuff. But again, you know, this is just building up the heat on him, isn't it? I'll tell you the other thing as well. The other thing is he didn't lose that match. You know, he didn't go into the ring and lose within, 2 minutes. He's clearly not completely useless. Oh, hello, what's this? Is this part of the show? Ray has suffered some sort of injury just before the break. So was it the suicide dive? Okay, so the suicide dive doesn't look a problem, but Ray is down. Ray can no longer compete. Santos Escobar wins. Escobar looks pretty gutted about it. I don't know. Escobar goes over. Yeah, I feel like this is scripted. These two embrace. I think it's a way of getting Escobar to progress, but protecting Ray. Ray looks all right now. I mean, Ray's gone straight over to the middle and had a few words with... Yeah, they said we'll try and get an update with Ray, but Ray looks fine. Ray was down in the corner being treated on and all this. We've just had, like, Ray go to the middle, like, you know, looking all great, looking fine. We probably shouldn't have done this whole embracing stuff if we're trying to really get across that Ray's in a bad way. Right, well, there we go. It is a win for Santos Escobar. I thought he would get the job done. I didn't expect them to do it that way. I'm thinking that that was just scripted so that it just protected Ray. Right, little tricky one, that. Little tricky one. Tricky one, innit? Tricky. Right, we go backstage for Kayla Braxton. Oh, the EST in the house. Is Bianca. Bianca! Never needed you at all. If that was scripted, what was the point? The match was made. They were going to have a fight. It's confusing. Well, it's to protect Ray, innit? You know, Ray just having that slight medical issue means that he was not pinned or submitted. So Escobar progresses, but it doesn't make Ray look weak. Okay, we got Chelsea and Sonya. They're the best women's tag champs ever, apparently. Okay. She just did an impression of Charlotte Chelsea, which was pretty fun. So what are we going to get here? Like, Bianca? Oh, here's Charlotte. Oh, dear. Is it going to be Charlotte and Bianca against these two? Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, so Bianca and Charlotte are going to face Sonya and Chelsea. WWE Shop. Let's go. It's gonna puke. Right. I feel like it's probably video worthy. I am a little confused by why we did what we did, but I think it was to protect Ray. Interesting development coming out of SmackDown. So this was the final of the United States Championship Invitational. Obviously, Ray winning one of those fatal four ways. We had Santos winning one of those fatal four ways. These two going up against each other. The winner will go on to face Austin Theory. And during the match, Rey Mysterio is injured. A doctor comes down to check on Ray, and basically the match can't continue. Santos Escobar is announced as the winner. My feeling on it is that this was scripted and that this was meant to happen. That way Santos could win the match and Ray wouldn't be pinned, wouldn't be submitted. Obviously, he could have been counted out. Like, there were ways that he could have lost this match and it not be too bad for him, you know. It seems like they went this way, though, with like a doctor stoppage, ref stoppage type situation. And so you can see the doctor tending to Ray. Moments after this, Ray would go over and just embrace Santos. So we know that he's up and he's mobile. They have said, though, backstage and on commentary, they will give us updates on Ray. They've certainly made it seem like this is legit. But yeah, I don't know. I was expecting Santos to win. I thought that he would be the one to go on to face Theory. I can understand why they would do this to protect Ray so that he's not submitted or pinned. But yeah, interesting development coming out of SmackDown. We do get a stoppage due to injury. Boom. The other good thing as well is that we are still live. I am over the moon about that. I was worried that the electricity was going to cut off and it was all going to crumble down. But we're doing all right. We're hanging in there at the moment. We're hanging in there. We are amazingly 46 minutes into this show. 46 minutes into this week's show. So it is flying by this week. And it looks like we're going to get a women's tag. I don't think it's for the title. I think it's just a tag match. I don't think it's for the actual women's tag championships. Okay, we're going back to SmackDown. Miss Cloud, shout out to you. It's an odd finish. I don't see why it's necessarily a bad way to protect Ray. No. Not a bad way to protect Ray. It's I agree. It's an unusual way. I certainly it's not one of the finishes I was expecting. But that's, you know, it's good to be surprised by finishes. It's good to be surprised by Hit Row. Here we go. Roll Tides. Roll Tides. They don't like it. I don't know what it means. Here's LA Knight. So who's he facing? Okay, LA Knight coming down. I don't know if he's facing Ashanti or if he's facing Top Dollar. I knew Phil Smith was in the game. I didn't know Uncle Phil became a rapper. Okay. A lot of people claim to be undeniable. Right, Ashanti against LA Knight. Wow, LA Knight said horny. Can't believe it. I'm shocked. I'm shocked to my core. Will you do a live stream of Spence Crawford's? Yeah, it's set up, Joy Maurice. It is set up. I don't think that was PG. I think it was absolutely fine. The word horny is fine. Not one thing LA Knight said was funny or cool. I don't get it, says J Love. Ashanti is Top Dollar's already getting involved. I'd like to see Ashanti, actually. I'd like to see Ashanti get like a proper match. Gets planted down. LA Knight should win this. He's so over. He should win this, but I hope this isn't it. Elbow drop. Kick. 1, 2, it is it. 3. Okay. LA Knight wins. I mean, I suppose for where he is right now, him picking up like a quick win is, you know, it's probably. Oh, I don't know if it's what he needs. He needed to win. I would have liked to. I think there's something about Ashanti. I don't see it in Top Dollar at all. But I think Ashanti's got something about him. Well, LA Knight picks up the win. Blunt force trauma. To be honest, I think even LA Knight fans wish that had gone a little longer so they could see him a little longer. Right, we're backstage with Jay Uso. Here's Adam Pearce. Okay. Here's Charlotte. So, main event Jey Uso and Grayson Waller, I believe, are going to have a match. Bow down. Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte and Bianca up next. Versus Sonya and Chelsea. Mitchell, shout out to you, buds. Appreciate the support. Mitchell said, I really hope they're not using something like a concussion as kayfabe. I understand working a leg or an arm during a match, old school style, but fake concussion seizures is too far, in my opinion. Mitchell, shout out to you. Hope you are well. I'm guessing that's in reference to Ray. Rivi said, big up to you and your family and Kia, says Rivi. Rivi, shout out to you, buds. Fiona said, give LA Knight a match at SummerSlam. Cosmic Tron said, hopefully Sonya and Chelsea win. Lance said, I agree. I didn't like when Danielson did fake seizures. Steven said, had to turn Smackdown off. Going to Hostel. I hope everything is okay. Steven, shout out to you, buds. Chelsea and Sonya should win, but they won't, said Brony. Lance said, I don't know if you watched AEW, but it was rough. I didn't, but... LA Dort Knight said, tonight has been the best show ever. Messi got mentioned by Wade Barrett during the LA Knight match. We have hit the mountaintop. Trini said, I agree on that. The seizure fake out is too far for me. Q the Light Knight said he needs to do as everyone else, work for it. So what should we add? I don't know what that's in reference to. Trina said, I think concussion angles are borderline. If they're done tastefully, then I think it's just about okay. King Yeti, shout out to you, my friend. Really appreciate the support. King Yeti says, woo, puke. Puke. He's gonna puke. Always think about that. I can't, anyone could say the word to me, puke. They could say that word to me at any point in my life, any point in the day. I could be in my 80s and I will always hear Vince saying, he's gonna puke. I will always hear that. I will always forever hear that. So, King Yeti, really appreciates the support, my friend. So, shout out to King Yeti. Shout out to Mitchell. That, for people that don't know, that was Beyond the Mat, wasn't it? I believe. Beyond the Mat. I think it was Beyond the Mat. It was either Beyond the Mat or Wrestling with Shadows, but I think it was Beyond the Mat, where they went backstage behind the scenes, like late 90s. They did that for Wrestling with Shadows as well. And they went behind the scenes, and that's where we saw one of the wrestlers who went on to become Droz, you know, yeah, with Vince, basically, as they were talking about what the character for him was going to be, and it was like proper behind the scenes stuff. I mean, it was like some of the first behind the scenes stuff we'd ever seen in WWE. Amazing footage. Amazing footage. An amazing documentary if you've never seen it. It's been on DVD a few times. It's probably still available now. Droz, R.I.P. Droz. It was Beyond the Mat. It's gonna puke. Really good documentary, said Billy. Yeah, I'd say Wrestling with Shadows as well, for those that haven't seen that, the Bret Hart one, which was around a similar time. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't loads, in all fairness, but once the internet arrived, you know, I think we started to accept that the secret was going to get out. And I think, you know, we started to see a few shoot interviews, you know, things popping up on the internet, even in the early days. So, yeah, it kind of blew the doors off, didn't it? Prince Albert and Droz, I love them as a team, said Cosmictron. Okay, main event, Jay Uso coming up later against Grayson Waller. Oh, hello, we're backstage with the Street Profits. Okay, this could be juicy. And Bobby. Here we go. Here we go. Trick and Mello spoke highly of you. You guys are stars. Should dress like stars. They're staring at Dawkins. Yeah, yeah, you. Yeah, this will be good. Let's get him out of that stuff. Who's that lady? Jeez, what's going on? I need to join this group. Damn. I think we all want to join Bobby's. There ain't no hurt in that business. Lovely. So Dawkins shown a new wardrobe. I could see Mello and Trick with Bibby and the Prophets, said Zoe Killer. Bibs in the house. Bip, bip. Waller versus Jay later tonight. Huge for Waller. I'm here for that, says LS Dub. Days has joined the tag team Simp all minds. At some point, the bouncing has to stop. Oh, what, for Bianca? I never needed you at all. Watch you fall down. Ba-ba-bum-bum. Okay, here's Chelsea and Sonya. Right, I don't think the tag titles are on the line here. I don't think we're going to be getting new tag champs. I just think this is just a tag match. So Charlotte and Bianca. It was Charlotte's idea. Bianca didn't really want to do this. She's doing it. Join Liv and Cody at Ford Field. Well, that's good news for Liv. At least she's still going to be involved in SummerSlam stuff. I mean, apparently her injury is legit. Okay, Chelsea and Sonya look great. I love their matching gear and everything. I think they're a great team. Great team. Halftime scores. Oh, yeah, we did need to do those, didn't we? We'll do them at the next commercial break. Kieran said, who will win, Jake Paul or Diaz? Jake Paul. Okay, let's go. Can these two get along long enough to try and beat the tag champs? Guess I'm going to see Asuka at some point. Days, I've got to tell you, when I have bouts of OCD, you really help me out. Ryan, shout out to you, my friend. I'm glad the streams are of some sort of use. So shout out to you, bud. I appreciate everyone stopping by and sharing their thoughts as we enjoy the action. Right now, look at that move. Charlotte smashing Chelsea's face into the mat with her legs. Her legs. Chelsea getting flipped over the ring there. Kip up by Charlotte. Charlotte doing a bit of a strut. Chelsea selling in the corner. Big kick there by Chelsea. Enziguri kick back by Charlotte. I really have become such a big Chelsea Green fan. I think she's great. I love her facial expressions. I love her selling. I love how involved she is. EST chance. Big slam. See how after that slam, you see how wide her eyes were. She's really involved in everything that goes on in the ring. Against the ropes goes Bianca. Bianca just knocked into the ropes, which knocked Chelsea off the edge of the ring. Shots to the midsection there by Sonya. Sonya, so we're just seeing a replay. Look, Chelsea went flying. Bianca goes over the top. Drop kick. And a kip up. Bianca looking good. Bianca going over to the corner, trying to throw in a few big right hands on Sonya Deville. Chelsea comes back in. Bianca flips over. Big boot there by Sonya. 1, 2. Kick out by Bianca. Charlotte is a beast. I watched her workout on Sheamus's YouTube channel, said Loop Girl. Right, here we go. Let's go. It is time for... I don't know.
Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this.
Yeah, I just saw an advert for the Gran Turismo movie. I didn't even know there was a Gran Turismo movie. Did you know there was a Gran Turismo movie? I didn't know this. Right, okay. We've got Sunny with a 6, WWE AEW fan 6.5, Ryan with a 6.75, Kieran with a 6, Shaquem with a 6, Marty with a 7.5, Andrew with a 6, James with a 4, J Love with a 7. We got Jordan with a 6. We got Zoe Killer with a 6. We got Trini with a 7. We got Legend 72 with a 7. We got Leonard's with a 6.75. Bad Karma with a 4. We got Kyron with an 8.5. Seth freaking Rollins with a 7. We got Shannon with a 7. We got Draco with a 6.5. Daniel with an 8.25. Mitchell said, I don't know, maybe a 6. What do you think? I'd probably be at a 6.5. I think this is fine. I don't think there's been anything amazing tonight. I think the Santos match went the way I thought it was going to go. I think the opening segment was quite compelling, but not anything, that we're ever going to revisit. I think this match doesn't really mean a great deal, but I do like Chelsea. Crowd got to pop for LA Knight, of course. I would have liked to have that match to have gone a little longer, but I understand. They're getting behind LA Knight now. So giving him a squash win over Ashanti, I get it. But just on a side note, I'd like to see Ashanti doing a bit more. I think there's something there. I don't think there's something there for Top Dollar, but I think there's something there for Ashanti. So yeah, it probably shakes out about 6.5 for me. But Daniel's enjoyed it. 8.25. Draco 6.5. Punjab Kings with a 7. Jason said 6.75. AB Jobson said an okay show so far, 7. Kieran said 6 to 6.75. Aaron says 7. My Phenomenal Figures said 7. My mum is in hospital. Freddie, I'm sorry to hear that, but shout out to you. I hope everything is okay. Cody with the 9. Triton Cascade with the 7. Ledge Killer with the 6. Austin 316, hello. Welcome. Smurfy said 10 out of 10. The Daisy's awesome singing. I don't get to hear it, unfortunately. You lot are very fortunate because I don't even get to hear my own singing. Stephen with a 7. Ribby with a 6.18. Zoom Station said 8 LA Nights. Razzle Dazzle said it's the worst show in a while. 3.5. Young Heath Ledger with a 5. LA Dot Light said Gran Turismo film is not to be confused with Gran Torino. Right, we are underway with this next part of the show. We are back from the commercial break. We got Sonia and Chelsea about to do a suplex to Bianca, but Bianca suplexes them. She's trying to make it over to make the tag to Charlotte Flair. Woo. I can't wait to see what Bobby's cooking, said Horror King Mayhem. Same. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? I'd love Dawkins in like a sharp suit as well. I think that's going to be such a good way forward for him. Woos as Chops come into Chelsea. And they're just standing and like prancing. She's getting chopped. She's like... Gets thrown down. Chelsea over in the corner. Charlotte. Clothesline. Down goes Chelsea. 2. Oh, shoulder up. Shoulder up by Chelsea. Sign in the crowd said, all hail Queen Flair. There's actually a Charlotte fan in the crowd. Tag, in comes, spear to Chelsea by Charlotte. Sonya comes in, roll up by Chelsea too. I'm all over the road here. Roll up by Charlotte. We call matches that have got way more action than this. Why am I getting so flustered? Getting flustered by Charlotte Flair. Bianca pops up. Don't know where she came from. She was down on the floor. Tags in. Goes over the top. Charges over. Down goes Sonya. Bianca again charging into Sonya. Drop kick. That seemed right in the face, you know. Hip up by Bianca. Sonya comes over. Bianca looking to suplex. Nice. Hip up. Nice. Bianca showing up, showing out. Some dude in the crowd in like a cowboy hat and a vest who was like, yeah! Proper cheering on Bianca. You go, girl. That was a weird spot, wasn't it? Bianca throwing in shots to Sonya. Sonya in the corner. Sonya just sort of walked away from them. It looked a bit weird. She just sort of like ducked underneath and walked away from being hit in the face. Round the back goes Chelsea. Looking for the unpretty her, but Charlotte grabs Sonya, drags her out the ring. In the corner goes Chelsea. Bianca is going to go for the KOD. I think Charlotte, as she tagged her. Oh, kick. Oh, there's a little bit of trouble here. Get out the ring, out the ring. Charlotte's telling Bianca, get out. Charlotte, 1, 2, 3. Charlotte gets the pin. Charlotte gets the win. I'll tell you what, Bianca's not pleased. I got it. Doesn't matter, you got the win. Don't worry about it. You're on the winning team. These two arguing away. You're not meant to be a long-term tag team. It doesn't matter. What was the point? Bianca's getting back in. Charlotte's in the ring. They're arguing. Here's Bailey. Oh, yeah. She's got problem with Shotzi. Why did you leave me last week? EO's asking, why did you leave me last week? She got to my stuff, but your stuff was all right, yeah? Inside. See you soon. Shots. It is Shotzi. Let's go. Oh, here's Asuka. No idea what she's saying. Lots of icks. Cashing in. Thinking about cashing in. I respect you. It doesn't matter who wins at SummerSlam. I will be leaving as the WWE Women's Champion, says EO. I love that little moment. I love that moment where Asuka scares Bailey. So after EO says, I will be leaving as champion, Bailey like laughs at Asuka. That was good. That was good. Bailey was like, ha, and Asuka went, proper made of a go, man. Proper made a jump. Very good. Been some fun little moments tonight, actually. Asuka, he was gonna puke. WWE. Right, how long we got? We got 40 odd minutes or so to go. And we are at commercial break. MJF is good at getting people to love him, only to hurt them, says Austin. The jump from Bailey was awesome. Yeah, man. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I want to get that in the review. The recap review thing that we do. I wasn't able to record it in time, though, so I'm going to have to see if I can find that somewhere. But yeah, that was fun. It's been a good smacketh downeth, said LA Dort Knight. I love that skit, said Ribby. Looking forward to watching Spence Crawford tomorrow, said Game Killer. Same, dudes. Oh, what a fight. Waited years for it. There's a few people saying it's a bit late, but I reckon it's, you know, you can make the argument, maybe if we'd had it a couple of years ago, would have been, both would have been in their primes and whatever, but they're still pretty much there or thereabouts anyway. I don't think like, you know, it's not like we're getting it and they've both retired and they've come out of retirement to do it or whatever. They are both champions. We're trying to get the first 4-belt undisputed welterweight champion ever. It is, I think, the pound for pound number 1 against the pound for pound number 2. Like, it is arguably the biggest fight in boxing. And that's, think about that. I mean, like, in wrestling, if you used to make the biggest match in wrestling, it's probably Roman against Rock, I would say. Probably the biggest match in wrestling right now. And I think in MMA, I don't know, probably John Jones against Francis Ngannou, if you could make it work. That's probably the biggest match in, maybe you'd have to go Conor, actually. Conor Khabib, if you could get the rematch. But think about that, like in boxing, tomorrow we are going to see potentially, arguably, and it's not much of an argument, the biggest match in boxing tomorrow. The pound for pound number 1 taking on the pound for pound number 2. This isn't just a champion defending their title. This is 2 champions, both of them on the pound for pound list, going up against each other in a match people have waited years for. I mean, it is just, it's unfathomable. I have no idea as to how much hype there is around this thing, because to be honest, here in the UK, because it's 2 American fighters, the hype's not as big over here. So in America, I've no idea how big it is, but I would imagine it's a pretty seriously big deal. Over here, I think you need to really know boxing to even know it's happening, if I'm being honest. It is being shown as a pay-per-view, though, on TNT Sports in the UK. But massive. Paddy against Hasbulla would be the biggest match, said Russell Andy. Well, do you know what? I can't argue with that. Right, we're backstage with Adam Pearce. Here is LA Knight. Let me talk to you. The biggest rising star. Let's make it right. LA Knight. Here's Sheamus. What the hell's the Slim Jim Battle Royal? Tell Mr. Catchphrase here. After banger. Catchphrases everywhere here, isn't there? So there's going to be a SummerSlam Battle Royal, and Sheamus and LA Knight have both been added. And it's going to be Sheamus, LA Knight next week. There you go. LA Knight is on the SummerSlam Battle Royal. When is that SummerSlam Battle Royal, though? Is it at SummerSlam? Battle Royal for SummerSlam is a last chance Battle Royal. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Last chance for what? Last chance for what? Anyone else think they could have explained that a little better? They're putting a battle royal on, so LA Knight can win it. Someone can get heat, start feuds. LA Knight wants to be in the battle royal, but so does Sheamus. SummerSlam battle royal, but what does it mean? Well, it looks like that battle royal is at SummerSlam. It looks like it's at SummerSlam, so that's good news. Yeah. Are you doing Poirier Gaethje? If not, doing it. Who are you going with? I'm Team Poirier. We're doing the boxing tomorrow, buds. I think Poirier wins that match. Last LA Knight will be battling Last Chance Battle Royal. Yeah, what does it mean? What does it mean? What's it a last chance for? I think it's a Battle Royal, a bit like the Showcase tag matches. Yeah. Battle Royal for SummerSlam is the last chance Battle Royal. Maybe Shane will return after his goated Mania botch. He shouldn't, because he'll never beat that. Okay, so LA Knight's going to be added to that Battle Royal, but WWE have just tweeted out, we've got ourselves a SummerSlam Battle Royal. A certain someone wants in. Maybe I need to just listen to what Adam Pearce said again. Fall and pray. Pray. Carrying Cross coming out, by the way. Michael Cole didn't say anything about Last Chance. So it's just a SummerSlam Battle Royal. I mean, there's no mention of it being like a Last Chance thing. Not by Michael Cole, anyway. So I don't think it's like a last chance to get added to... I suppose, in a way, it's a last chance to get on the card. That's what it's a last chance for. To actually be on SummerSlam. LA Knight will be in the Last Chance Battle Royal and lose again. It's raining in my area. Thanks for the coverage. D Jones, shout out to you, my friends. I really appreciate people joining us. So I'm the one that's thankful. I'm also very thankful to electricity, if electricity is watching, for not burning down the house. Because we've had a few electrical issues. So the fact that we're still operating is a mini miracle, to be honest. I feel like it's another video, you know, guys. People love LA Knight, and the masses are going to want to know what the situation is. Let's chuck up the graphic. So, big news for LA Knight fans. LA Knight, of course, at the moment, didn't have anything planned for SummerSlam. Well, now he does, because it has been announced that there's going to be a SummerSlam Battle Royal, and LA Knight has been added to it. LA Knight and Sheamus both are going to be in that Battle Royal. Gotta think that LA Knight is favorite to win that. In fact, WWE just put a message out saying that there's a Battle Royal at SummerSlam and a certain someone wants in. So even the social media accounts are teasing that LA Knight is interested in being involved. WWE very much know what they've got with LA Knight at the moment. They had him come out on the show and get into a match with Ashanti from Hit Row during this week's SmackDown. Again, you know, having Hit Row come out and like lay into the crowds in a heelish way and then bring out like LA Knight to this massive pop again. It just says they're very aware of what they've got at the moment. So I know a lot of people are like down and thinking that WWE are botching LA Knight. I don't think that could be further from the truth. To be honest, I think that the rumors are that he's going to get a push after SummerSlam. He's now been added to the SummerSlam card. And don't forget, this is a guy that wasn't at WrestleMania, wasn't at Elimination Chamber, wasn't at Backlash, wasn't at Night of Champions, apart from sitting in the front row, right? This is a guy that has not been able to get onto the pay-per-views, including a 2-day WrestleMania. Well, now he's not only in the Battle Royal for SummerSlam, he's got to be the favorite. He's got to be the favorite. So big news for LA Knight fans. LA Knight is going to be at the biggest party of the summer. Right, we are at commercial break. We've got half an hour to go. Karrion Kross has made his way down to the ring. People are using yeah chance over what chance now, says Sir Killer. Okay, we are back to the action. Fall and pray. So it's going to be Karrion taking on Carl Anderson. This has been building over a few weeks. Oh, there's the OC. I need you to let me do this on my own. I kind of like that. I need you to let me do this on my own. So Carl Anderson is going out there. The rest of the OC were backstage. But Carl Anderson wants to do it on his own. So Carl Anderson making his way down to the ring. LA Knight better win. They haven't been treating him right, says Paul. Raw coming to the city close to where I live, said Rivy. Come on, Carl Anderson. Right, boom. We are underway. Okay, so Cross versus Anderson. Don't think this will take too much time. Our main event, Jay against Grayson. I think they're going to want that to have plenty of time. One, two, shoulder up there by Carrion. Cross is in the corner. Referee having to come in and separate these two. Scarlett grabbing the leg of Carl Anderson. Anderson, a good singles wrestler. Over in New Japan. Collision there by Carrion. Forearm strike by Carrion. Cross chucking Anderson across the ring. Cross back in the corner. Waiting for Anderson to get back up to his feet. Goes over. Forearm strike. Cross hammer. Anderson goes down. Crowd a bit muted for this. Looking for... He's got him up on his shoulder. The final prayer, and it's a win for Cross. Well, that's not gone well. It has for Cross. So Cross beats Anderson with the final prayer. I mean, in all fairness, it was some outside interference by Scarlett. This should bring down the rest of the OC, though. Cross attacking Anderson. Scarlett keeping an eye on the entranceway. Here they come. AJ Styles coming down. Cross on the outside of the ring. AJ getting into the ring. Staring at Cross. Okay, we're backstage. Now we've got Roman in his locker room. There's the other two belts that we never saw. So they are still around. The other two belts are still around. But we've got Solo. Roman, Heyman watching this main event tonight, which is going to be Jey Uso against Grayson Waller. No one cares about Cross. Yeah, really flat reactions, wasn't it? Really flat. Crowd just not interested. To be honest, I mean, it comes down to how he's been booked, doesn't it? I mean, there's just nothing. Not a reason to really get that excited about him. So much for Machine Gun Anderson. Now you know why they replaced him as leader of Bullet Club, said Defcon Eric. Silver Bandit said, what's your opinion on the schools that pop up in the background? I think there is absolutely nothing to it. I can't stress that enough. We've seen a lot of schools, crows, black flowers, all of that kind of imagery has been backstage for a long time. Long time. It seems to be like a decoration that they just dot around. I don't know why they do it, but they've been doing it for a long time. I'm not talking weeks. I'm talking before Bray came back. I remember like people in the chat pointing out like crows and stuff before Bray even returned last year, thinking that was a indicator that Bray was about to make his return. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It's just something I don't know why they do it. They just enjoy having that imagery around backstage. So the schools they don't mean anything. I saw the same article. Someone on Reddit put a little message up. I really don't think there's anything to it at all. The schools in the background are ashtrays for smokers. Joe said, I am fired up for SummerSlam. Brandon said, AEW Rampage is on tonight. I am excited. Game Killer said, it's crazy. Moxley, Orange Cassidy are all in for the All-Atlantic Championship. Do you think WWE could start using Halo Up wristbands? I don't know what that is. What's that? What's Halo Up wristbands? They dropped the ball with Bray, said Cosmic Tron. David said, I hate that Jimmy is out again. Right, we are at commercial break and just over 20 minutes to go, that's all. Just over 20 minutes left to go tonight. Blown in it. Trini said, I don't think anything of the schools until they had Becky interact with it, and it made me wonder. Bishop said, what does the winner of the Battle Royal get? They haven't announced anything. I mean, what does the winner of the Andre Battle Royal get? He just gets to stand next to that trophy, doesn't he? So, I mean, we've never done a SummerSlam Battle Royal. To be honest, I think there's probably just a good chunk of people that they needed or wanted to get onto the card. People like LA Knight and Sheamus. And I'm sure there'll be a few people from Raw as well. Your Bronson Reeds, your Shinsuke's, that they, want to get on the card somewhere. So it's just filler, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's just filler. Do you think AJ needs a push? Sure. He needs something to do. Definitely. Cody documentary is on Peacock, said Rivy. Didn't the crow disappear after Bray returned, said Travis. I don't think so. I think that stuff's been in the background all throughout. I mean, I can't say because it never did anything. But I've definitely seen that kind of imagery and that sort of stuff. I've definitely seen it in the background even after Bray returns. I couldn't tell you whether it was crows or not, but I feel pretty confident it was. I put nothing in it. Nothing in it at all. You should stand next to that trophy. Glow up wristbands. Should WWE have glow up wristbands? Go on in. I mean, it would make sense when Naomi was there. Why are they saying Jay is the only one to pin Roman? Am I missing something? Cody pinned Roman maybe when Roman was in the Shields. I think they're just talking about since Roman's been champion. Since Roman kind of came back. They're not saying ever. Sheamus LA Knight is next week. If the Street Profits and Bianca join Bobby, do you think their faction would have a good feud with OC Mia Yim, says Trini? Yes. I think that'd be a great feud. Tribal combats. Match at SummerSlam. Okay, Grayson Waller is making his way down to the ring then. Jay is in the ring. Wrestling Guy said, for the crowds, for entrances, they use them at concerts. I mean, I wouldn't use them for everyone's entrances, no. I would use them for, like, Naomi's entrance or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think what they are. I think I've seen them at like Coldplay gigs, Coldplay concerts. That's the only time I think I've ever seen them. I don't know what you can actually do with them. I mean, I think that it would look great at like a WrestleMania or something special like that, but might be a bit overkill to do it like on SmackDown and Raw. I mean, it might just lose its impact. But I mean, could you do it at like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or something like that? Sure, like it could look really, really cool. But I don't think you'd want to do it on like the weekly TV shows. And again, like you don't want it just doing the exact same thing. But I think it does have the ability of the one time that I've seen them. I think it does have the ability to like change colors and whatever. I mean, you don't want everyone's thing just flashing a certain color every time someone comes out. It's just going to be really samey. It's not going to really add to everyone's entrance. But if it's got a degree of, say, customization to it, then you might be able to get something out of it for, you know, multiple different people. But like, if I think of like things that glow, I think of Naomi. But if it's like that thing that I'm thinking of from Coldplay where they can like make it do different colors and flash away and all that kind of stuff, maybe you could use that technology at like a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam or a big event or something along those lines. But I certainly wouldn't be doing it, you know, week in, week out on Raw and SmackDown and all of that. Santos versus Theory in 2 weeks on SmackDown. Oh, is that what they said? Ah. Called it. We called it. We said, what if that match isn't at WrestleMania? What if that match isn't at SummerSlam? Okay, I need to change this at the bottom, don't I? NXT is getting a lot of love lately. This week, 703,000. I know Judgment Day will get all the credit, but I think that's a disservice to everyone else's hard work and a strong product. Jay Uso versus Grayson Waller, right? I had an update. Twitter has changed to X. Yes. WWE AEW fans said the second hour has not been the best. Here's Roman. Okay, we're going to commercial break. This is the main event in name only. It feels like an opening match, said Ray. Yes, I agree. I do like it. I like Grayson Waller a lot, but it doesn't feel really big enough to be the main event. But, you know, Roman's just come out now, so maybe that's going to add to the intrigue. Why are you watching boxing over UFC? Because the boxing is like one of the biggest fights ever tomorrow. Grayson is better than you know who, said Boomers. Wanted to see about that theory thing. So I didn't see them announce that the theory thing was in 2 weeks. If you put theory into Twitter, it just... People have got theories about everything. Not the best word to put into Twitter or X or whatever it's flipping called. Right. Since WrestleMania, SmackDown has been producing bangers, said Big Time Baxter. Can you confirm if you're doing meet and greet for all in events? No. To my knowledge, there is no Wrestling Shop Live for AEW All In. Or if there is, they've certainly not spoke to me about it. So, yeah, no. There are no plans. They use them at Coldplay concerts. You're right. They might introduce them at WrestleMania 40, said the wrestling guy. James said, I guess Jay is the only one to pin the tribal chief I see now. It's not called Twitter no more, said Shaquem. Well, I don't know, actually. Is it called Twitter? Because on my computer, it's still called Twitter. The logo is an X. And it's still twitter.com, isn't it? It's not x.com. You don't go to x.com. You have to go to twitter.com. So I don't know if they're still in the process of changing it over, or if it's just that the logo has gone and now it's an X. I don't know. I'm not sure. It probably would make sense for it to just all be X, just to make it all clear. But I don't know. X just doesn't sound good, does it? Facebook and X. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X. I don't know. Perhaps you just got to get used to it. Feels a bit random. It's X. I have an X, not a bird at the top of my timeline. X. The app itself is called X. Twitter's will change to X. So it won't be Twitter anymore. It will be X. Because I know they've changed the logo, and I know that I've seen the logo and everything. I know that it's changed, like, you know, at the top of the screen. But as I said, it's still twitter.com that you go to. So I don't know if they're in the process of changing that. Seems like the logo is all that's changed for now. Degeneration X, said King Yeti. Break it down. Right, Roman is sat. Watch him. Got Jay. Gets knocked back down. Forearm strike there by Grayson Waller. Elbow drop by Waller. 1, 2. Shoulder up. I saw that Tony Khan has booked all the VIP boxes at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal Fulham game on the 26th day before the all events at Wembley, said Game Killer. Did you say you was doing the Box Nova UFC? The American numbers will be 0. No one is talking about it here, says Jason. Okay. Kieran said, does Jimmy return at SummerSlam? I think that we'll see Jimmy at SummerSlam, yes. Big uppercut there by Jay. Jay has got Grayson on his shoulders. Against the ropes. Spine buster. Smile on the face of Roman. Tell you what, this is a big spot for Grayson Waller to be in. It's a big spot for him to be in. Taunting the Rock. Went for the people's elbow, but Jay moved out the way. Samoan drop. That'll get people talking. The fact that Grayson once again just mentions The Rock. Uso charges over. Collides into the corner as Grayson Waller gets out the ring. Super kick there by Jay. No one is talking about UFC either. I listen to a lot of sports media. This is the first time I'm hearing about the fight, says Jason. I mean, all I can say, dude, is that there's predictions all over YouTube that have got like hundreds of thousands of views. It's absolutely being spoken about. Spear by Jay. Smile on the face of Roman. Jay is going up top, looking to finish the job. Big splash. 1, 2, 3. Jay picks up the win. Jay beats Grayson. Roman looking a little bit frustrated by that. So a spear and a splash picks up the win for Jay. Oh, solo attacks. Solo attacks. Solo attacking Jay. Gonna go for the Samoan spike. Oh, misses with it. Super kick by Jay. Roman gets in the ring. Duck underneath there by Jay. Spear by Jay. Big spear by Jay. Jay going to the outsides. Looking to climb up top. Solo pushes Jay. The numbers are against him right now. And that spear to Roman was pretty sick. Uranagi by Solo. Solo looking to deliver a Samoan spike. Hey, we've still got a few minutes to go here. We've still got a few minutes to go. Who is screaming? Ba, ba, ba. Ah, Samoan spike and a spear. Someone was shouting. They were like, ba, 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 ba. Jay laid out Samoan Spike and a spear. What's he looking at? Oh, the crowds. Okay, so the crowd are chanting. I can't hear what they're chanting. Gonna do it again. Against the ropes goes Roman, and another spear. Another Samoan Spike. Crowd are booing away. Roman goes over to the corner, holds up the championship and the Ulafala. Message sent. Very much message sent by Roman Reigns. Mitchell said, Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Wrestle Andy said, that Spike Spear combo is the new Doomsday device. King Yeti said, Spear Moan Spike. Spear Moan Spike. I think you can get there if you say it a few times, get used to it. Spear Moan Spike. Wow, Jay is deaded, to be honest. Jay is deaded, and that is the end of the show. Boom. The crowd were chanting, you got pinned. Oh, is that what they were saying? I couldn't make out what they were saying. I know they were chanting something, but I just couldn't make it out. Well, there we go. Grayson down over by the commentary table throughout that exchange, just kind of watching on as Jay got absolutely decimated. And he did get decimated. Put in your scores. We'll stick around for a hot minute. So, 8-10. 72775 675. There we go. The beatdown was brought to you by Progressive. Paul said, come on, Grayson, do something. Be part of the bloodline. Ellis Dub said they've done a great job of making the tribal combat match feel like culmination of this Usos and Roman saga. Michael Cole's voice is annoying beta as frick, said Mr. Quake. 775 said Leonard. 8 says Mark. Roman Reigns sucks, said Carlos. 6.5 decent ending as per with the bloodline. 7 said Shaquem. 6 said Hayden. Mitchell said I'll go 675 to 725 range. What about you? I'll go about the same. Yeah, I'd go the same. Thought they couldn't harm each other before SummerSlam according to tribal combat rules, said J Love. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Seems like Roman doesn't really care about tribal combat rules, although he did stop Solo, didn't he? Last week from hitting him. That's a really good point. Can I get a shout out? Ray 8 out of 10 said LE Dub. LE Dub, shout out to you. Rick said they need a new bad guy. It's always just jumping people. 725, good show overall, said Shannon. Darkside 72 said 6. Big Daddy says 8. I don't care about tribal combat anything, said Vin. LS Dub said 6. Very average. Not many outstanding talking points coming out of this one, even including the bloodline. The bloodline had good but ordinary build for SummerSlam match. That is true, actually. Considering this is a SummerSlam match, I can't say I disagree that this has been average for a SummerSlam match. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the women's, like, Bianca, Asuka, Charlotte, even that's been really bare bones and basic, hasn't it? It hasn't been the most exciting of builds. I agree. Game Killer said, I think Cody will be winning Elimination Chamber match to set up a WrestleMania rematch against Roman. Average SmackDown SummerSlam build, said Kevin. 8 for Uso, 2 for Roman, said Mark. Maggie said, I only care about Tribal Roman. Tribal Roman. Remember to give the video a like. El Sean, shout out to you, buds. 8 out of 10 said Dan from Pensacola, Florida. That's where Roman's from. I always think of Roman when I think of Pensacola. Rick said, what happened to all the great bad guys who didn't need 3+ people? Judgment Day, Bloodline, even pretty deadly dudes just jump people. Same with Imperium. Days there, saving the best for Survivor Series with the Bloodline. Survivor Series or SummerSlam? Every time people put SS, I never know which one they mean. David says, I'm at a 7. Stuttering Steve said 725. Next week is the go home. Yeah, what I will say, though, is that WWE have been doing all right go homes, actually. Their go homes have been okay under Triple H. They have really started to stack go homes and actually put some stuff on there that's quite interesting. So I'm not too scared about the go home. Normally, I'd be sat here a little bit concerned the go home's going to be like boring and dead and all that. But actually, it might be all right. I know that the Raw on Monday is a go home and SmackDown is going to be a go home as well. But honestly, I think it's going to be all right. What are your thoughts on SummerSlam Battle Royal? What would you like to see from it? How do you think it'll plan out, said Daniela. I think that LA Knight will win it. I don't think there's anything to it. It wouldn't even surprise me if it was a last-minute decision. I would not be surprised to find out that this was not planned and they decided to come up with it when they originally didn't have LA Knight on the cards. And it's just a way of getting him and a few others onto the card. I really wouldn't be surprised at that. We've never done one of these before. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe this is something Triple H had in mind for a while. Don't know. I certainly don't think LA Knight would have been the one that would have been as, like, you know, backstage, him and Sheamus, and that tweet that WWE put out. I don't think LA Knight would have been as prominent had the fans have not got behind him as much as they had, of course. And maybe that could even go one step further and we could say maybe there wouldn't even be a Battle Royal if the fans hadn't got behind LA Knight. So, you know, I'm a bit unsure as to how legit this thing is, how much thought has gone into this, or whether they've just literally thrown it together to get LA Knight on the card. But I expect him to win it. I expect him to win it. A lot of people were down last week on the fact that he did not win that match to qualify for the United States Championship. And I put on Twitter, I said, what if it turns out that match is not at SummerSlam? And the reason why he didn't win is because they want him to be at SummerSlam. You know, you go on Twitter and you always get people that will argue with you, which is absolutely fine. If people genuinely think like, no, I don't think like that's how it's going to go, then that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But when you've got people that are like, no, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're just a delusional WWE fan. Why can't you see what's really going on and all this kind of stuff, right? You have to wade through this absolute sea of just toxicity and garbage. And lo and behold, look where we are. look where we are. where we are is that LA Knight is in a battle royal that's going to take place at SummerSlam. And I'm told that the Austin Theory United States title match is going to take place 2 weeks on SmackDown. So I think that he wins it. I think WWE are doing a lot to show you. And for some reason, certain people aren't listening, right? If certain fans can't see it. I don't know why. Maybe they're young, right? Maybe they're young. Perhaps they're either young or they're just blinded by the fact that they want LA Knight to be competing for a world title or something, right? But WWE have made it very clear they see the hype around LA Knight, right? Quite a few times they've made that clear. For example, who was the only person to come out and cut a promo in front of the live audience just before that match last week? LA Knight. In fact, I don't even think it was that. I think it was 2 weeks ago, right? Who was the last person to come out and get the last entrance, get that big moment before the match last week? LA Knight. Who's the person that obviously has come out this week to have a little throwaway match with Hit Row? Was it Sheamus? No. It was LA Knight. LA Knight came out, has this, crowd pop, has this little thing with Ashanti. Then later we see him backstage going up to Adam Pearce saying that this is a load of rubbish. He should be at SummerSlam. And then he's announced being in this battle royal. WWE are putting tweets out like saying, oh, it's going to be a battle. Guess who wants in, right? Guess who wants it? Like, there's lots of little things they're doing that's making it very evident, very clear that they can see the numbers, merch sales and things like that. They know how popular he is. And there are rumors that LA Knight's push is coming, like real push, significant push is coming after SummerSlam, just after SummerSlam. So I think that this Battle Royal is a way of getting him on the cards. And I think that he wins it. I'd expect him to win it. I think it's also going to be good because it gets few other people on the cards. What he gets for winning, though, that's going to be interesting. I really think he should be the first person to take on the winner of the United States match. There should be a title opportunity in there for him. There should be. Whether there will be, I'm not sure, but there should be a title opportunity for him. And then I don't think he wins it. I don't think he wins the mid-card title. Not straight away. I think he will get a mid-card title eventually. I don't think he'll win the mid-card title. I think someone will interfere and that will start a feud. And then we've got like a bit of a feud running with LA Knight. So yeah, the thing I've said before, like people are right behind LA Knight. They want to see him be successful. So that is the end goal, isn't it? That is the carrot that you dangle, basically. People want this. So you use that as an incentive to get them to tune in, right? You use that as an incentive to get people like, this is what people want. Okay, brilliant. We've got something people want. So how do we now tell a story that's going to build towards that? How are we going to tell a story that's going to get us there? I think him just going in and winning the title, you're just leaving money on the table by doing that. I think, you build to it, and once he gets there, then give him a bit of a run, and then can we take the next, where are we? Where are people still passionately behind him? Is he still one of the top merch sellers? Like, is this something that's going to be sustainable? Because then, do we have conversations about world titles at that point, But it is a process. So for me, if I was booking him, I think putting him in the Battle Royal is perfectly fine. I think get him down to the final two, make it seem like he's about to lose, blah, 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 give him a win. He picks up the victory. I think that should then get him a title shot. You can build that up for a little bit. Maybe build it up to the next pay-per-view, like Payback. So the winner of the Battle Royal gets a mid-card title shot at Payback or something along those lines. Build towards that. Someone interferes. He doesn't get the title. Mad heat on whoever interferes. Mad heat. In fact, Dominic Mysterio would be great to interfere. He would be great. I know they're on different brands. I don't care. I'm looking at who has got the most heat at the moment. It's Dominic. So could you imagine Dominic coming down, preventing LA Knight from winning a mid-card title? Oh, it'd be nuclear. I mean, he is hated. He can't talk anyway. I mean, there might be a riot if he comes down and actually does that. But he would be the person that I think would make a lot of sense. And then, you could start a little feud between those two. LA Knight could get the better of it. By the time we're done with that, we're getting towards Survivor Series. I don't know, maybe we could do Judgment Day against whoever, and LA Knight could be on the other team. And then you can be done with that. And then before you know it, you're at Royal Rumble season. And as I said, I think I'd be working my way towards LA Knight getting a mid-card title at WrestleMania 40. I think Cody finishes the story against Roman. And I think LA Knight finally getting his hands on some gold, proper gold in WWE, a mid-card title. I think that's the carrot that you dangle for people. So that would be what I would be looking at. But it's hard to know if they had this in mind or not before LA Knight got popular. Either way, I think some people would rather he was doing something a bit better than this. But I've said before, I think what we're seeing with Triple H is we're seeing maybe even quarters get planned out in advance. So a quarter would be 3 months. So you've got January, February, March. That's quarter one. Quarter two would be April, May, June. That'd be quarter two. Quarter three would be July, August, September. And then quarter four would be October, November, December. Now, we're kind of halfway through quarter three. And it might be that LA Knight just wasn't really factored into anything. Just, they've because if you think about it, quarter one, which was January, February, March, LA Knight weren't getting these kind of reactions. They didn't start until quarter two, right? And honestly, they have built. They weren't red hot. They've just every week he's got louder and louder reactions. So I can't say I blame them for quarter three, this one we're in now. I can't say I blame them for not having bigger things for him. I mean, they've put him in Money in the Bank. They could have come up with this Battle Royal idea to make sure that he's at SummerSlam, right? They've used him in a few matches, like the match to try and qualify to face Theory. Obviously, they had him, as we said, qualify for Money in the Bank. So, they have used him. It's not like he's been sat in catering. They have used him in this quarter, but they haven't had anything of significance for him. They've just got him on TV and they've just used him. And next week, it's going to be him against Sheamus as we, build towards SummerSlam. So I think that my gut feeling is that he started getting traction in quarter two. They've given him a bit of stuff to do in quarter three, but it ain't really till quarter four, which is going to be your kind of October, November. I reckon you can probably chuck September in there as well, to be honest. But because I think that maybe it doesn't quite work the way that I'm saying. It might be that we build more to WrestleMania and then we start a new phase straight after WrestleMania. We build to SummerSlam and then we start a new phase after SummerSlam. So where I'm saying like it's in 3-month chunks, it might not quite be that way. It might be more that, SummerSlam is the end of this period and then the next period starts after SummerSlam, which again would tie in with what we're hearing that they are going to have plans for him after SummerSlam. So I feel pretty good that, WWE know what they've got. I think the fans just want it now, right? It's got to be here. It's got to be now. Like, what are we doing with him? They're burying him. There's zero understanding or thought or patience or anything like that, right? I think under Triple H in particular, this stuff is planned in advance for months. And we know that because after WrestleMania, he told us that it was planned for months. When Cody lost at WrestleMania, he said there's a plan that we're sticking to. So I don't think Triple H wants to rip those plans up just because... And that is your problem, isn't it, with long-term storytelling? So on the one hand, we look at the bloodline and we look at how great the bloodline has been. And a lot of people out there will say we need more long-term storytelling. A lot of people will say that because of how great the bloodline has been. But the problem with long-term storytelling is that it really locks you in to certain stories using certain people. And if someone like LA Knight comes along and out of nowhere gets hot, gets over, and you weren't planning on it, and you didn't do anything to really help that, right? Because you're locked into certain stories, there's not much wiggle room. There's not much leeway. There's not much like that you can change, that you can do. I think there should still be, I think they should have still found a bit more flexibility than what they found, right? I think the fact not having him at WrestleMania, I think, is inexcusable because you could have easily had him come down and challenge The Miz, right? But then saying that, you know, Pat and I can't remember who the other person was, they were probably already booked to do that job, right? That was probably already agreed ages in advance. So can you really turn around to those people and say, we don't want you to come down to the ring and challenge The Miz because we want to go with LA Knight instead? So, you know, even that might have been tricky. But, you know, take a bit of time out of a match, add another segment in and give it to LA Knight. I don't care what that segment was. It could have been anything, right? He should have just at least acknowledged the crowd. So, and I suppose I can understand him not being at Backlash, but it's good they got him at Money in the Bank. I think that it's one of those where he just wasn't in there. He wasn't in their plans. He wasn't in their plans. He's a steady hand. He's someone that is like, you know, reliable. He can be in a tag team. He can be a solo guy. He could be a jobber. He could be a mid-card champ. He can talk. He could do promos. You could give him a talk show segment. Like, he's got loads of experience. You could put him out there with a newcomer. You could put him out there with a veteran. Like, he's got a lot to his game, which means that you can feel comfortable with having him on the roster, right? He's a good person to have on the roster. I don't think they were looking at him being like the next big star that they're going to massively get behind. So I think, you know, be pleased that he's managed to get onto the SummerSlam card. I don't think there's any guarantee that he was going to be on this card 6 months ago, right? So be pleased that they're doing Summit with him. And just know that apparently the push is coming after SummerSlam. So after SummerSlam, you should see a bit more progress being made. Christopher said, who is Bray going to feud with? Should he return at SummerSlam? Well, apparently he's going to get involved with one of the big matches. So it could be, I mean, I think Roman stands a good chance. I think my prediction, I'm actually doing my predictions on Sunday, but I'll give you a spoiler. I'm predicting Roman wins and Bray arrives after. Because I think that Bray Roman at Payback makes a lot of sense. Because I believe that's where he lost the title. So that makes a lot of sense. We haven't seen Bray. I think that we've had a lot of shows that have been downers, that have ended on downers. And I think that for SummerSlam, I'm hoping they've kind of learnt their lesson. There's rumors Bray could come back and get involved in one of the big matches. I don't see Bray Cody. I'm struggling to see Bray versus Cody, and I don't see Bray Brock. So I don't think Brock wants that match. Apparently he turned it down at WrestleMania. So I can't see Bray against Cody or Bray against Brock. I can't see Bray against Jay Uso. So I'm thinking Roman beats Jay. And then just as he's all gloating and happy, bang, here's Bray's back, Bray's back. So, you know, that's good because it very quickly, seamlessly gets us out of the kind of predicament that we're in. The problem we're in is that if Roman beats Jay, the question's going to be what next and all that kind of stuff. You know, if Bray comes back after that match, bang, the story has changed immediately, hasn't it? And all of a sudden it's going to be, is Bray going to be the one to beat Roman? And I know, like, it's going to be a bit of a concern because that surely means Bray is taking the loss. But maybe Solo gets involved, you know? Maybe Solo gets involved. But then saying that, you've got Uncle Howdy that could, you know, even up the scores with Solo. So maybe Solo and Howdy are... Solo and Howdy might cancel each other out. Maybe Heyman has to get involved. Imagine Heyman tripping over Bray. And then Roman hits the spear and 1, 2, 3 or something like that. I mean, it won't be clean. But I would predict that Roman would go over Bray. But I don't know. We could be completely wrong on that. So I don't think we need to go running too far down that road. Because we could be completely off. So I've been trying to upload videos and shorts, get rid of comments only when I show my face and voice. Don't want to go against the guidelines. I've been trying to upload videos and shorts. It gets rid of comments only when I show my face. Don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean. Should be able to upload videos without your face or your voice. Shouldn't affect comments at all. Bloodline story. This will not be the same story for years to come. You'll miss it. There will probably not be another storyline. Enjoy it, said Mr. Dell Jr. This time Bray will actually get pinned by Roman, said Cosmic Tron. What if Solo turns on Roman at SummerSlam, said Jim. Yep, that could happen. I think Solo turning on Roman will happen at some point. It happening at SummerSlam is one that I really do like. I mean, I think there's a great chance that either Solo turns on Roman or Bray comes back. And right now, I'm leaning to Bray coming back. I'm leaning to Bray coming back. Just because the rumors are there, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the, you know, the fact it's called Payback as well. I do put some stock in that. We haven't, I don't think we've seen a Payback since that Payback. So yeah, I think that this full circle, all that stuff. So, but I expect Solo to turn on Roman at some point. Right, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up because I am a little bit worried about the electricity, which has held out. And I'm going to see if I can squeeze out a review video. Appreciate the support as always, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. We are back tomorrow for that massive stream, that boxing stream, of course, with Crawford Spence. And, of course, we're back on Sunday, if that's not to your taste. We are back on Sunday, where we have got NXT. Great American Bash. I haven't had a chance to set that up yet, but I will get that set up. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But busy weekend this weekend. Some on both days, which is quite unusual. So, yeah, appreciate the support as always. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.